Live on a Sunday afternoon, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's the last game of the road trip as the Grizzlies take on the Cincinnati Cyclones. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. Utah's looking for a winning road trip, as on Friday night they lost 3-2 in Bloomington, but last night, from start to finish, it was probably the best 60-minute effort the Grizzlies put forth as they got a 5-0 victory over Cincinnati, as Evan Friesen had 2 goals and 1 assist. Danny Genev had 3 primary assists. Naden Hansen-Mukata added 3 assists. And the captain, Tyler Gratton, had 1 goal and 1 assist. And Hunter Miska was outstanding in net as he earned a 32-save shutout. Grizzlies were outstanding on the special teams as they went 2 for 4 on the power play, and they were a perfect 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. Last night, it was the Hunter Miska show as he earned a 32-save shutout. He is the 4th different goaltender for the Grizzlies to get a shutout this season. That only happened one other time in team history, and that was the 1999-2000 season, where 4 different goaltenders combined for 7 shutouts. Corey Hirsch had 3 clean sheets that year. Ian Gordon had 2. Rich Pront and Rick Taparachi each had 1 assist for the Grizzlies that year. Utah's had an outstanding tradition of goaltenders over the last 30 years. And for the Grizzlies, they have had 6 different years where they have had shutouts from 3 different goaltenders. And this season, 4 different Grizzlies goaltenders have had 1 shutout. Dylan Wells stopped all 46 shots against Idaho on October 24th. On November 9th, in his Grizzlies debut, Kyle Kaiser had a 29-save shutout. And on December 13th, it was Kasimir Kaskasuo earning a 20-save shutout in his only game as a Grizzly. And for Hunter Miska, who was just signed by the Grizzlies a few weeks ago, he picked up a 32-save shutout, which was his 5th North American Pro shutout. That matches his college total, where in one season at the University of Minnesota Duluth, he had 5 shutouts during the 2016-2017 season. It's the first shutout for Miska since the 2024-25 campaign, where last year he had 1 shutout for Moscow Dynamo. Today, it's going to be Kyle Kaiser getting the start. He is celebrating a birthday today. Kaiser stopped 31 of 34 on Friday night. And for the Cincinnati Cyclones, they're going to go with Ken Appleby. He played in 4 NHL games in his career. He is a native of North Bay, Ontario. Appleby this season has a record of 14-12 with 1 shutout and an .897 save percentage. While the Grizzlies are looking for a 2-game weekend sweep in Cincinnati, and they're looking for a winning road trip. Remember, the Grizzlies will be home later on this week to take on the Tulsa Oilers in a 3-game set. The series against Tulsa will be on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that should certainly be a lot of fun. Remember, Military Night's going to be this upcoming Saturday, March 14th, and March 15th, which is 7 days from now. Grizzlies will have a 3 o'clock start, followed up by a post-game skate. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun, as it's going to be a quick turnaround for both clubs, obviously, with the time change and with it being an early start as it is. Both teams might be running on fumes, as both the Grizzlies and Cyclones are playing their 3rd game in as many days. We'll come back and talk some hockey on the other side and also go over the lineups for both teams. We're in business on a Sunday afternoon, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. We're going to have a ton of fun here as we're hanging out in the Professional Green Studios inside Maverick Center, as the Grizzlies are 2 time zones away taking on the Cincinnati Cyclones. We're not sure about the starters yet for either side, but we do know the Grizzlies are going with Kyle Kaiser, who's celebrating his 27th birthday today. He stopped 31 of 34 in Utah's 3-2 loss to the Bloomington Bison. Whether it's been the Grizzlies or the Colorado Eagles, Kaiser's been outstanding this year, as in 11 games with Utah, he's got a 6-4 record with a .914 save percentage and a 2.50 goals against average. But he's had even better statistics up in the American Hockey League with the Colorado Eagles, where in 11 games he's got a record of 8-1-1. He has 2 shutouts with Colorado. He has 1 with the Grizzlies. He has a 1.49 goals against average and .943 save percentage. He'll be going up against Cincinnati, a club that's got Ken Appleby in net. Appleby has appeared in 4 NHL games over his career. Appleby has been a pro for quite some time, as Ken Appleby comes into play this season with a 14-12 record. He is 30 years old. He's been a pro since the start of the 2015-2016 season. He played in 3 NHL games with the New Jersey Devils back in the 2017-2018 season, where he had a .945 save percentage, and he gave up only 3 goals and had a 1.45 goals against average. He also played in 1 NHL game with the New York Islanders back in the 2023-24 season. Appleby has also spent some time this season with the Toronto Marlies, and he's kind of gone through the blocks and has kind of made the rounds of professional hockey. He's a big goaltender, listed at 6'4" and 205 pounds. So a good goaltending matchup tonight. Appleby for the Cyclones and Kaiser for the Grizzlies. Obviously, Utah's big guns were their big guns last night, with Genev and Hanson Bukata each getting 3 assists. And Evan Frieson's played outstanding hockey as of late, as he's got 8 goals in his last 14 games. Kaiser, Friesen, what can you say about him? He's got 20 goals and 15 assists on the year. Reed Lepster found the back of the net in the first period last night. He leads the club with 29 goals this season, and that ranks 2nd in the league. And you also got to watch out for Tyler Gratton. The Grizzlies captain's been outstanding on this road trip. He had 2 assists on Friday night against Bloomington, and he had 1 goal and 1 assist. And he's been instrumental to Utah's power play success, as he has 10 power play goals to lead the Grizzlies this season. He has 17 power play points, but believe it or not, the 17 power play points doesn't lead the club, as Danny Genev has 2 goals and 19 assists on the power play for 21 points. And Aiden Hanson-Bukata had 2 power play assists last night, and he's up to 18 on the season. Well, special teams played a factor in last night's game. The Grizzlies were 2 for 4 on the power play and a perfect 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. And we say it could play a factor once again this afternoon, because Cincinnati really has struggled on the penalty kill this year, but they've got a 71.7 penalty kill rate. And for the Grizzlies, they have 21 power play goals in their last 20 games. And right now, the Grizzlies have a 22.4% power play clip. We'll come back and go over the lineups. We don't have the starters as of yet, but we'll go over the lineups for both teams. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
It's the Grizzlies and Cincinnati Cyclones meeting for the final time ever. It's the 9th meeting between the clubs. Utah's 3-5 against Cincinnati. Grizzlies won the first 2 all-time meetings between the clubs, and then Cincinnati had won 5 straight before last night, where the Grizzlies get the better of the Cyclones. We're hanging out at Maverick Center. The Grizzlies are 2 time zones away over at Heritage Bank Center, which is right next to Great American Ballpark, and a couple blocks from that is the NFL Stadium where the Cincinnati Bengals play. As the Grizzlies come in with a record of 21-28-7, and the Cyclones come in with a record of 25-26-3. Both teams have kind of been towards the bottom of the standings in their respective divisions, and unfortunately a big part of that is going into last night's game. Both teams had an .882 team save percentage, but the Grizzlies are in good shape with their goaltending situation as Hunter Miska got a 32-save shutout last night, and today it's Kyle Kaiser's turn as Grizzlies take on the Cyclones. Still don't have the starters for either side, but we do know that for Cincinnati, their top forward line is going to feature Ryan Kerwin, Sam Stevens, and Nick Rayom. Kerwin is one of the best rookies in the league. He's going to be battling with Danny Genev and company for the league's Rookie of the Year honors. Sam Stevens has a point in 6 of his last 7 games, and Nick Rayom, he's in a famous hockey family. His father, Pascal Rayom, is a former NHLer, and his aunt, Manon Rayom, is famous for being the first woman to sign an NHL contract with the Tampa Bay Lightning back in 1992. Also got to watch out for Gunnar Wolf Fontaine, who's got an AHL contract with Toronto. Fontaine's got 17 goals this year. He's on the line with Marco Sikic and Jackson Murray. Sean Kennedy, the former Grizzlies in the lineup. He is 6 feet and 190 pounds. He played in 17 games with Utah earlier this season and had 1 goal and 4 assists. Kennedy didn't play last night, but he's wearing number 74 for Cincinnati this afternoon. He's out there with Luke Granger and Gabriel Bernier. Justin Vive, the all-time leading scorer in Cyclones history, the son of Rick Vive. He's out there with Liam Kidney and Justin Portillo. Defensemen for Cincinnati will include number 10, Jake Johnson. He's paired up with Rhett Parsons. Elijah Villio is going to be paired up with Aaron Bullinger, and Curtis Henry's lined up with Aaron Sherratt, as Spencer Cox, no, not that Spencer Cox, is a scratch on the defensive unit for Cincinnati. Still don't have the starters for either team listed on the ECHL app, but we do know the Grizzlies are going to be rolling with, I believe, a forward line. If that's Boilar out there with Noel, as they're standing in kind of a dark Heritage Bank Center. Unfortunately, the camera angle is a little bit too wide to tell who the starters are for Utah, but the Grizzlies didn't have Stepan Timofeyev last night as they went with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen. We'll come back and have some hockey on the other side. You've been tuned into the pregame report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
It's a great day for hockey as 2 big standings points are on the line as Utah Grizzlies take on the Cincinnati Cyclones. Hockey begins in a moment.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
It's a great day for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Cincinnati Cyclones in the last of a two-game weekend series. Utah got a victory last night 5-0 as Evan Friesen was the game's number one star with 2 goals and 1 assist. And the Grizzlies also got big performances from Danny Genev and Aiden Hansen-Bukata, who each had 3 assists, and Tyler Gratton had 1 goal and 1 assist. Unfortunately, the ECHL app, and it looks like they just now post the lineup for both teams. The starting forwards are going to be Luke Manning with Reed Lebster and Maxime Barbashev, and a defensive pairing of Mathieu Boilard and Andrew Noel. Kyle Kaiser's getting the start in net. He's celebrating his 27th birthday today. This will be his 12th game of the season. He's got a 2.50 goals against average and .914 save percentage. As Kaiser's wearing number 38, he's trying to duplicate what Hunter Miska did last night. All Miska did was earn a 32-save shutout. For Cincinnati, it's going to be Ken Appleby in net. He's got a record of 14-12 with a 3.17 goals against average and .897 save percentage. Cincinnati's going to start out with a forward line of Ryan Kerwin, Sam Stevens, and Nick Rayom, and a defensive pairing of Aaron Bollinger and Elijah Villio. And unlike the graphic, it is the Utah Grizzlies and not the Adirondack Thunder. The Grizzlies would love that win-loss record of 31-15-5-1 there on the screen. As Grizzlies are wearing a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim. I believe Cincinnati's got some sort of specialty jersey as a ceremonial puck drop with the 2 captains. Tyler Gratton's been an outstanding team leader for the Grizzlies. It's his 2nd season as a pro. And Justin Vive just recently broke the Cyclones franchise record for points. And as Steve Klauke used to say, when you'd break a franchise record in the minor leagues, congratulations, but I'm sorry. Looks like a little bit more of a partial sellout, but it is good for a Sunday over in Cincinnati. Riley Wazlowski is the Cincinnati head coach, the former longtime Rapid City player. Grizzlies are led by John Mechanic, and the assistant traveling coach is Ryan Anderson. And the equipment manager, Chris Burke, is participating in his 1,500th professional game. Puck is dropped and we're underway. We missed the faceoff, so we couldn't tell who took it for the Grizzlies, but since Luke Manning is a starter, I imagine he took the draw. Cincinnati wins the faceoff, and we do beg for a ton of forgiveness and patience, as unfortunately we're at the mercy of this one camera feed as we're on a remote broadcast tonight. Luckily, the Cyclones are wearing a jersey that features white numbers. Thank the good Lord. As the puck goes towards the Utah line where it's taken by Luke Manning. It is the Lord's Day, so luckily we were blessed by jersey numbers we can actually see on this remote feed. Boilard falls down as he was trying to skate towards center ice, tripped over the Utah blue line. As the puck goes deep into the Cincinnati zone, still don't have a shot 40 seconds in. As Cyclones at the end of their first shift of the game, as Riley Connors taps it away from Ryan Kerwin, who's been one of the best rookies in the league. As the Cyclones race across center ice, Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the first period. Sikic skates down the middle, high slot, righty shot. That one misses wide, although they gave Sikic a shot. Couldn't tell where it ended up, but it appears that Kaiser on his 27th birthday made his first save. Connors gets a puck, and he'll tap it ahead to Genev off his skate towards Colella. Back towards Genev, but it's taken away. We believe that Stepan Timofeyev is a scratch for the 2nd straight game, even though he's listed in the lineup. Cincinnati skates around Kaiser's net, mostly black jersey with a little bit of red mixed in, as the Cyclones feed it up top. As taking the puck is number 6, Aaron Sherratt. Actually, looks like it's number 8. There's not a number 8 on their roster. As the Cyclones back behind Utah's net, as they try to feed it out in front. Cyclones get it towards the right circle as Fontaine skates towards the right point. Now drifted across. Cyclones will drop it back for Jackson Murray. He'll feed it up top, and number 8 will take a righty shot, and that goes wide. Well, unless I'm mistaken, there's not a number 8 on the roster right now for Cincinnati, unless it's number 6. No, that's number 3, Rhett Parsons. Hey, 3 and 8 can look pretty similar, especially on that jersey. As Cincinnati over the offensive line, Parsons was active last night, and he got a fight with Boilard in the second period. Backhand shot and a score. Cyclones got it out in front, and it looks like it's Luke Granger getting the goal 2 minutes and 10 seconds in. As Granger gets his 13th of the year, Cyclones just fed one just outside the crease, and looked like Granger was able to get one past Kaiser. Cincinnati got from the left wing. Ricocheted off of Granger's skate. He regathered it and fired a backhand shot past Kaiser. It looks like the main assist is going to go to number 74, Sean Kennedy, the former Grizzly. Kennedy was a scratch last night, but he picks up an assist for Cincinnati, and that is Kennedy's third assist in a Cyclones uniform. He had 1 goal and 4 assists in 17 games for Utah. As puck deep in the Grizzlies zone, we played 2.5 minutes as the Cyclones have a 1-0 lead on Luke Granger's 13th of the year. Grizzlies in a white jersey, cross center ice. Both teams in the third game in less than 48 hours. As Grattan left point, he fires lefty shot, and that's blocked by Appleby. As puck goes back to center ice, the Cyclone takes a spill near Friesen. And chasing after the loose puck is Dylan Grattan. He's wearing number 25. Grattan scored his first pro goal on Friday night. He gets towards center ice, and he'll tap it in. As the Grizzlies make a line change, Reed Webster's now on the ice as Cincinnati will bank it off the near boards, chipped off a Grizzly stick, and that was Yevdokimov's stick. Now the Cyclones skate in, 2-on-2. Cincinnati right wing, lefty shot goes wide. Boy, they would have had some room, glove side, if they had the perfect accuracy. As the Cyclones over in the right point as they skate to the corner, as they get around Yevdokimov, Vilio in particular, but the Grizzlies take the puck away. As Utah crosses center ice, Yevdokimov bounces it in. Mike Gillette with a good back check on his Cyclone. As puck goes out to center ice, Cincinnati wants a penalty as everybody's got their arms raised. No penalty to be had. It's still 1-0 Cincinnati. Grizzlies have the puck in their own zone. As Utah carries over the offense line, John Gillette, he got it stuck away by Jake Johnson, number 10, the former Fort Wayne Comet and Tahoe Night Monster. Right wing lefty shot, saved by Appleby. Shot was taken by Yaroslav Yevdokimov, who's in his 12th appearance as a Grizzly, and he has 2 goals and 2 assists in the Utah uniform. So we're just getting underway. Luke Granger's goal was assisted by Kennedy and Gabriel Bernier, 2:10 into the first period. Cincinnati's up to 4 shots. Grizzlies have 2. It's just the start of things, so grab some chips and dip in a beverage of your choice and enjoy part of Sunday with us. As draws won by Cincinnati's Sam Stevens, as he was taking the draw against Utah's John Gillette. As Rhett Parsons moves towards the far side, he's wearing number 3, but the 3 looks on-off. Doesn't the 3 look a little bit like an 8? Grizzlies out towards center ice. Gillette gets hit. As Yevdokimov and Mike Gillette are on the ice as well. Aiden Handsome-Yukata is out there. We're a little bit worried about AHB's availability as he didn't play in the last half of last night's game. AHB's out there with Colby Inns, who's a +3 on Saturday. Left wing, lefty shot. That one goes wide. Kaiser might have gotten a piece of it with his left ankle. As Maxim Barbashev dances back and forth, the second-year pro, former Rangers draft pick, he'll push it ahead. Right wing, righty shot, saved by Appleby. That shot was taken by Colby Inns, who has 4 goals this season. Right side, lefty shot, kick saved by Appleby off his right pad. As that was about knee-high, Cyclones will loft it out towards the Grizzlies bench, which is on the near side as we're watching the game on Flow Sports. As Grizzlies come back up with it, Dylan Grattan crosses center ice. He gets back check. Grattan strong with the puck as he's surrounded by 4 Cyclones. Grattan throws it off Cincinnati's backboards, and he feeds to the right corner. A Grizzly avoids a check. Utah trying to get to Manning is picked off. Cincinnati's got a little bit extra bounce to their step here tonight, as Gunnar Wolf Fontaine will loft it in. He's a native of East Greenwich, Rhode Island. As the Cyclones back towards left wing, they get it across. Aaron Sherratt, who was a scratch last night, he'll throw it towards the left corner boards, which is the far side as we see it. Salem couldn't reach as the puck slides along the wall. As Tyler Grattan in the area, puck goes back behind Kaiser's net. As Salem gets back checked, got the puck taken away from him. Fontaine feeds it over to Sherratt. He'll drop it to the high slot. And faking a one-timer is Granger, the goal scorer. Now he skates towards the left wing. Righty shot's blocked. Grizzlies come back up with it. Utah will shuffle back to neutral ice. Luke Manning gains a center red line. He jump stops to get around Aaron Sherratt, who's a big 6'4" defenseman. As Danny Genev out on the ice, Grizzlies are mixing and matching the forward lines quite a bit, as once again it looks like Timo Fayev's a scratch for the second straight game. Cincinnati over the offensive line, left wing, righty shot, saved by Kaiser, and he holds on with 14:04 left in the first. And Andrew Noel with a push on a Cyclone after the whistle, as he pushed Gabriel Bernier. And now Andrew Noel having a conversation with Luke Granger. Looks like it's more Granger having the conversation with Noel. As we played about 6 minutes, Cyclones have a 5-3 advantage in the shot count. Looks like a pretty good crowd for a Sunday over at Heritage Bank Center, as Riley Connors will take the draw, the reigning league Rookie of the Month. He was outstanding in February, where he had 11 goals and 5 assists in 12 games. Grizzlies twirl it out to center ice. Taking the puck is Jania from Bollinger. As Jania, the first-year pro out of Penn State, gets around Granger, trying to feed it to his right, and it's sticked away. Cincinnati a lot more active with their sticks this afternoon. Good shoulder check by Connors as he knocks down a Cyclone at neutral ice. Cincinnati gets back in from the left wing, but they are offside by about 3.5 miles, and that stops play with 13 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first. Luke Granger gave the Cyclones a 1-0 lead, 2:10, and that's where we sit 6.5 minutes in. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
13 minutes and 40 seconds are left in the first period. I think I choked on some air. Cincinnati leads 1-0 as Luke Granger scored 2:10 and assisted by former Grizzly Sean Kennedy and Gabriel Bernier. Cincinnati was called for offside, so the draw is going to be at neutral ice as Evan Friesen will take the draw against Liam Kidney. Kidney, a native of Nova Scotia. The Grizzlies win the draw. As Colby ends, will push it is right. Grizzlies enter the offensive zone, right wing. Righty shot saved by Appleby. Shot was taken by Reed Lebster as Friesen will float it across to Lebster, gloves it and drops it. Lebster spins the puck along the boards. Cincinnati gets it back towards neutral ice. Tyler Gratton with the puck as it goes off his stick as he was battling with 5. Now the Grizzlies cross center ice. Friesen steps over the offensive line. Skates towards the right corner, gets up top. Colby ends one-timer, and that goes wide. Appleby might have gotten a piece of it with his right pad. Grizzlies are up to 4 shots. Cincinnati has 5. Now the puck goes back into the Grizzlies' ice. Hanson Buchanan across towards Salem. Rink wide feed, angle left. Connects at center ice, and the Grizzlies backhanded in at the end of a shift. Grizzlies are probably going to keep their shifts pretty short here. Both teams running on fumes. Dylan Gratton runs after a loose puck. For the Grizzlies, it's 3 games in less than 48 hours. And from what I hear, there might have been some travel issues getting from Bloomington to Cincinnati, as Grizzlies gave just about everything they could last night in the 5-0 victory. Long-range pass goes incomplete all the way down for a Utah icing with 12:28 left in the first. As Rhett Parsons, they spotlight him. He got in a fight with Matu Boilar late in the second period last night. He's a big guy at 6'3", 223 pounds. But Boilar has been in 5 fights as a Grizzly, and it seems like he had won them all, as Boilar is about as strong as anybody in this league. As they continue to spotlight Parsons before the faceoff, but just skating back and forth, keeping his momentum. As Cincinnati wins the draw, left point, lefty shot save, rebound shot saved by Kaiser, as that last shot was taken by Sam Stevens, who has a point in 6 of his last 7 games. Dylan Gratton tosses ahead, it goes past. Now they're looking for Yevdokimov. Cincinnati keeps it in. Over to the left circle, shot is blocked by a stick. I think it was Gillette's stick. As puck goes back to the right side, as loose puck, as Yevdokimov over there with John Gillette. Now the puck slides deep into the Cyclone zone. Cincinnati runs it down. They skate from left to right. It appears to be a specialty jersey they're wearing tonight, mostly a black jersey, and we're thankful that they're wearing ones with white numbers as opposed to ones that were tough to spot last night. Cyclones get to the right wing, lefty shot, and that's blocked. That shot was taken by, we believe, Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine, number 11. Cyclones back in the left point. They fire towards the net, sticked away by Kaiser on his 27th birthday. Andrew Noel runs it in. as he's played in 37 games of the Cyclones over a 2-year stretch. Right wing, lefty shot, saved by Kaiser, as that was a one-timer taken by Aaron Sherratt, who has no goals and 1 assist in 21 games this season. Kaiser makes a save, as he has stopped 6 of 7 so far. 11:24 is left in the first, and the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. You can already tell just 8.5 minutes into the game, both teams are running on fumes. Both the Grizzlies and Cyclones lost on the road 3-2. Grizzlies lost to Bloomington as they got second-period goals from Friesen and Dylan Gratton. And Cincinnati lost 3-2 on the road at Toledo. Grizzlies get it ahead towards center ice off a stick. Now the Cyclones back in their own zone as Aaron Bollinger rolls it from one corner to the other around Cincinnati's net as Elijah Villio, who's been a long-time Cyclone. Now the puck to the right corner, 2-on-2 battle as Kallela hanging out along with another Grizzly. As now Danny Genev looks nearby. Bollinger's trying to yank the puck away. Looking nearby is Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine. Now the puck goes towards Cincinnati. They'll get it ahead off the Hanson Bukata's stick, and the Cyclones will slide it back towards Utah ice. As Colby Enns gets it across, Grizzlies will chip it to Hanson Bukata, who had 3 assists last night, and he leads Utah defenseman with 33 on the year. Ed to center ice for Enns, tape to tape. He'll drop it to his right. Mikey Kallela stops before he gets to the corner. Feeds to the middle of the ice for Genev. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Appleby, who casually holds on to it with 10:28 left in the first. Scratches for the Grizzlies tonight. Anson Thornton, Jacob Musatelli, as well as defensemen Luke Antonacci, Robbie Stucker, Sage Weinstein, and Noah Gansky, and forwards Rylan Kovacevic and Stepan Timofeyev, who misses his second straight game. So Friesen will take the draw against Granger. Granger has the lone goal in the game. He scored 2:10 in. Cincinnati wins the draw. They're still in their own zone. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it from Flow Sports. Cincinnati 2-on-2 slides it ahead. Right wing. Righty shot goes high as that shot was taken by Gabriel Bernier, who's got 1 assist this afternoon. He is 6'1", 181 pounds. Webster gets knocked down by Bernier. No call. As left wing. Righty shot. Glove saved by Kaiser. He holds on. That shot was taken by Jake Johnson, number 10, who's got 1 goal and 27 assists this season. Referees tonight are Mitchell Hardy and Dylan Sater. The linesmen are Tyler Willie and O.D. Nelson. That's right, the linesmen are Willie and Nelson. My favorite Willie Nelson song is Turn Out the Lights, the Party's Over. And it wasn't necessarily his version of the song because that's what Don Meredith would sing on Monday Night Football when the game was pretty much out of reach. Once you knew who was going to win the game, he would sing that song. And I remember when we were on Classic Country, AM 1370, me and Big Al would play that song quite a bit as well. And we've pretty much replaced that with the baby in the refrigerator, even though we're not putting literal babies in the refrigerator. It's pretty much a metaphor of some sorts. Pucks at neutral ice, but nevertheless, Willie and Nelson are the linesmen in Cincinnati. As Aaron Sherratt skates in, drops it off, right wing, lefty shot, saved by Kaisers. That shot was taken by Liam Kidney, who's making his 3rd appearance this season. Sherratt gets pushed by a Grizzly, and that was Tyler Gratton, the Grizzlies captain, who's been outstanding in this road trip. Grizzlies trying to pitchfork it ahead, and Salem just kind of had it flub off his stick and just rolled about 5 feet. Now battle on the far boards as Gratton gets pushed by Vibe, and Salem gets it across. Dylan Gratton nudged it ahead, but it's taken back by Cincinnati as they're in the offensive zone, as Sherratt will push it ahead, and he'll cross-check Gratton in the back as 2-on-2 scrum along the boards. As Friesen's contemplating whether he joins the play. Now Friesen joins. Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine as well. Friesen holding his ground. Cincinnati comes out of the pile with the puck. It's stuck away by Kaiser. As Cincinnati dances around Utah's net. As they'll backhand it up top. Cyclones get it across. As Aaron Sherratt will backhand it across. As the puck rolls along the boards behind Utah's net. 2-on-2 scrum is Dylan Gratton and Salem nearby. Grizzlies come out with it. Utah will loop it ahead as a Grizzly goes down in the Cincinnati zone chasing after the loose puck. Curtis Henry will drop it back to the near corner. 8:40 on a moving clock here in the first period. Cyclones lead 1-0. Cincinnati's outshot Utah 8-5. Cincinnati's Curtis Henry will slide it towards his right. Now rink wide feed, angle left, goes tape to tape. Cyclones get around one check, and that was Boilar pushing a Cyclone towards the boards. And now Andrew Noel with 2 strong cross checks on Stevens. Now Noel gets the puck. Boy, Noel's a guy that just plays hard every game, and you can notice him after the whistles as well. Mike Gillette over the offensive line, the older brother of John Gillette, as Mike Gillette gets pounded to the boards by Rhett Parsons. As Boileau slides it across to Noel, left wing. He fires lefty shot blocker, saved by Appleby. Grizzlies get it behind Cincinnati's net as you have Dockham over to the right side. One-timer, that one's blocked. I think that shot was taken by Mike Gillette. As Parsons moves it ahead and he goes out to center ice. Cincinnati in the transition game, 2-on-2. Cyclones skate in. Now everybody stops skating, so it appears that the Cyclones are offside as there's 7 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first. Grizzlies still looking for their first goal. Cincinnati's got a 1-0 lead. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
$7:49 left in the first. Cyclones lead the Grizzlies 1-0. Utah's taken 6 shots. Tyler Gratton, the Grizzlies captain, has 2. Colby Enns, Yaroslav Yevdokimov, Danny Genev, and Andrew Noel each have 1 shot. For Cincinnati, Luke Granger has 3 of their 8 shots, including a goal, 2-10 into the contest. Cyclones win the neutral zone draw after they were called for offsides. It's whipped in by Rhett Parsons. Puck goes towards the left corner, taken back by Utah. As the Grizzlies towards the middle of the ice, they're still in their own zone. Hands to Mukata, outlets to Barbashev, who feeds it back to Enns. Long-range feed angle right, goes towards Lebster. And so drop a Friends, who skates towards the right corner. Enns centers the hands to Mukata, who couldn't get a shot off. The Cincinnati gets a stick in the way. As Lebster over towards Manning, as he'll roll it along, looking for hands to Mukata off his skate, as he battles with Sikic, as the Cyclones come back up with the puck. Cincinnati back in their own zone. Grizzlies retreat defensively. As the Cyclones will slide it across, they spread the ice. About 7 minutes left in the first period. Cincinnati's Rhett Parsons guides it across to Curtis Henry, and Henry gets it out to center ice. As Gabriel Bernier crosses center ice, but then stops as he's challenged by a Grizzly. Cincinnati patient with their approach here late in the first period. As Cyclones move it ahead, but they turn it over, getting it back as Bollinger as he ricocheted the puck off Mikey Colella. As Cyclones still in their own zone. As the Grizzlies trying to challenge him. Now Cincinnati moves it out to the left wing. Cyclones over the offensive blue. As they get to the middle of the ice, Bollinger will take a righty shot blocker saved by Kaiser. Puck bounces behind Utah's net. As the Cyclones get it up top. High slot. Villio moves to his left. As they fake it back to Villio on the give and go. Now Villio gets it back as he's pinned to the boards by Colella. Grizzlies hike it ahead. As Genev gets the bouncing puck. Grizzlies have numbers that they wanted. Genev skates towards the right circle. Tried to curl one out in front. As Colella gets spun around, as Cyclones come back up with it. Cincinnati rolls back to center ice. Grizzlies have it as Boileau over to Noel, back to Boileau, and he'll tap it ahead. North-south pass picked off at center ice by the Cyclones, and they'll dump it in. It should be a delayed offside, as in the offensive zone early was Liam Kidney, but the Grizzlies play on as Utah crosses center ice in their own right, 2-on-3. Genev lays it as Connor's trying to accept the puck, but Cincinnati takes him away. As Cincinnati skates over the offensive blue and is trying to drop it off his Kidney. He's a recent addition to the Cincinnati roster. As Utah tried to accept the puck at the Cincinnati line, and Reed Lebster gets pushed strongly by Justin Portillo. 5.5 minutes left in the first period. Cincinnati centers it, sticked away by Enns, as the Cyclones will curl the puck to the middle of the ice, a swing and a miss in the left circle, as Aaron Schrott gets around Tyler Gratton. Schrott around the net, drops it off to a spot he vacated to 5, who feeds it out in front. Nobody home but a Grizzly. Utah will race out to center ice. Lebster with 29 goals this season, curls around one Cyclone, but he gets it taken away by Kidney. As Cincinnati throws it in, Ryan Kerwin chasing after it. Kerwin will move it out in front as he was looking for a cutting Sam Stevens, but the Grizzlies took it away. Grizzlies loop it ahead towards their blue line. Now it goes to neutral ice. The Cyclone falls down. No call as Grattan was battling with the Cyclone. Puck towards center ice. And the Cyclones enter from the left wing. Cincinnati delivers a chokehold. Now it goes back towards left side. Centering pass is picked off. Grizzlies did a great job with 3 guys out in front of the crease protecting their net. Utah dumps it in. Mike Gillette chasing after it. Cyclones get there first. Mike Gillette continues his battle as the Cyclones get it back to center ice. 4:16 on a moving clock, first period. Stevens rolls along the board. Cyclones lead 1-0. Big-time shoulder check as Luke Salem goes down behind Utah's net. As the Cyclones back in their own zone, as Bollinger will slide it across to Vilio. Now back to Bollinger, who's native of Newburgh, New York. 5'9", 165 pounds. Cyclones throw it in from center ice, but the puck deflects out of play. 3:56 left in the first. Cyclones lead 1-0 on the goal that was scored by Luke Granger, 2:10 in. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
3 minutes, 56 seconds left in the first period as we're honoring equipment manager Chris Burke for his 1,500th game. As a nice tribute, as Chris Burke had been with the Cyclones for many, many years. In fact, he was there for both of Cincinnati's Kelly Cup championships. He was the 2019-2020 League Equipment Manager of the Year. Cyclones have outshot the Grizzlies 9-6. After today's game, the Grizzlies will have 15 games left in the regular season, and 12 of them will be at home. Cyclones win the draw as they cross center ice. Bollinger will whip it around the boards. Aaron Bollinger's had a very active first period, the native of Newburgh, New York. As a scrum along the end boards of the Grizzly zone as Kaiser looks over his right shoulder. Cincinnati slides it ahead now across the Bollinger's outside the right circle. He fires towards the net wide as Grizzlies race out across center ice. Cyclones doing a good job getting back defensively, not letting the Grizzlies get those odd man breaks. As Mike Gillette delivers a push on Bollinger in the corner. Now Cincinnati will slide it out to center ice. Puck ricochets off the boards, accepted by Bollinger as he'll drop it off. Cyclones get it towards the left wing with momentum. Lefty shot, blocker saved by Kaiser. As puck back towards the left point as Manning delivers a push on Jackson Murray. And now the puck goes deep into the Cyclone zone. Manning chasing after as it goes to the right corner. Bollinger gets there first. As he'll throw it from one corner to the other as Elijah Vilio pushed it ahead. Now the puck goes deep into the Grizzlies zone as it rolls towards the right corner. As Murray gets pinned to the boards, make that Bernier pin to the boards. Now back towards the left wing. Cyclones dingle back and forth outside the circle. Lefty shot's blocked. Now they get it back. Lefty shot by Vilio, saved by Kaiser. Actually, it was Curtis Henry that took the shot, number 37. Kaiser makes a stop as there's 2:46 left in the first. And for Kyle Kaiser after the game, there's going to be a little bit of a birthday celebration, I would imagine, as he turns 27. Obviously, he'd love for it to be a winning celebration. There really wouldn't be much of a celebration, though, if the Cyclones came out on top, although he probably would have a piece of cake or something of that effect. Luke Manning crouches down and takes a draw against his former teammate, Sean Kennedy, as Kennedy got his feet wet in pro hockey with 17 games of the Grizzlies, and he's got 3 assists, including one today as a Cyclone. As Utah tried to spin it ahead towards Manning, but it goes wide of the mark. Cincinnati's outshot Utah 10-3. Cyclones cross center ice, dangling down the middle. Taking the puck is Aaron Sherratt. He gets it taken away by Barbashev. Now the Cyclones left wing. They fire towards the net and it goes wide. That shot we believe was taken by Kennedy. As now puck around the boards. Connor's chasing after the loose puck. He gets there before a Cyclone. He'll slide it ahead to the center red line where it's re-accepted by Cincinnati. Cyclones will backpedal into their own zone. As Cincinnati rolls to the right side, Utah tried to play it in the high slot, but it goes to neutral ice. As Vibe moves it ahead, he's a big 36-year-old who's 6'6" and 237 pounds. We're talking about Justin Vibe, whose father, Rick Vibe, was the first Toronto Maple Leaf to ever score 50 or more goals in a single season. Out at center ice, Utah takes the puck as Genev will skate back towards his own ice. As Genev slides it across. 1:40 left in the first period. Cyclones still lead 1-0. Grizzlies will dump it in. As the puck goes towards the near corner, Connors delivers a push on a Cyclone. Now behind the net, Mikey Colella skates towards the right corner. He backhands it up top. As Dylan Gratton fires towards the net wide as Appleby looks over both shoulders. Cincinnati comes up with a puck 2-on-2. They cross center ice, but the Cyclones in the middle of a change. Sticking the puck is Liam Kidney. He's been active in the first period. Around the boards to the right corner as Salem in the area, as well as Connors, as Cincinnati feeds it up top. Parsons gets it across, left wing, lefty shot. That goes wide. Kaiser didn't have much vision on it, as the Cyclones have done a good job getting traffic out in front of him. As Connors delivers a push, as taking the puck is Utah. They could throw it ahead. I think it was Dylan Gratton that cleared it back to center ice. And now Mikey Colella battles with a Cyclone. Play stops as there's 45 seconds left in the period. I wonder if we've got the game's first penalty. Not really sure, as the camera operator seemed like he was out to lunch over the last 15 seconds there, as Colella was battling with Elijah Villio. So not sure if a penalty was called or really what the case is, but there's 45.1 seconds left in the first period. And now it looks like 3 of the 4 officials are talking things over. It looks like the draw is going to be at neutral ice near the Cincinnati bench. So Friesen will take the face-off. He's out there with Lebster. Friesen was the number 1 star last night. Believe it or not, in the 32-save shutout that Hunter Miska had last night, he was not listed as any of the 3 stars. Obviously, the Grizzlies had some great individual performances. Genev and Hanson Bukati each had 3 assists. Tyler Gratton with a 2-point night. As the Grizzlies get it back in, as Villio takes it away. Elijah Villio out of Abbotsford, British Columbia, and so feed it to his right. Cyclones skate over the offensive line. Kerwin trying to put a move on Noel. And Noel, who practiced with Kerwin all year long, gets the puck and he'll ice it all the way down. As whistle blows and stops play with 13.7 seconds left in the first. So it's going to be a defensive zone draw for Utah. And now after the whistle, looks like Rayom trying to get after it with Andrew Noel, of all people. Like, we've seen more scrums after the whistle in the last 3 weeks than we've seen all year long. And just about every time it's Andrew Noel on the ice, kind of agitating the opposing team. And I got to imagine Noel loves that kind of stuff. It's a little bit surprising, though. He didn't come into Utah with that many penalty minutes. He's got about as many penalty minutes as a Grizzly as he did in 31 games of the Cyclones. Friesen will take the draw against Fontaine. It's won by Cincinnati. Righty shot, saved by Kaiser. Right off the draw, the Cyclones fired on net. Kaiser made the stop with 10.5 seconds left in the first. You worry in these kind of scenarios, third game in less than 48 hours, both teams, especially as the game progresses, they're going to be dragging. They're going to be running on fumes. So because of that, you almost worry, because most of the time the team that gets a lead in these particular games are able to find a way to hold on to it. As Grizzlies are playing a little bit uphill, down by 1, but it's just a 1-goal deficit. 6 seconds left. Grizzlies nudging out towards center ice, but it goes all the way down for an icing, as it looked like Lebster was trying to play the puck with Aaron Bollinger, and the puck went all the way down deep into the Cincinnati zone. So 3.5 seconds left in the first period. Obviously, during the first intermission, we'll go over some scores from around the world of sports. The Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, have a big game ongoing with the Minnesota Wild, as that's 2 of the best teams in the Western Conference, and both Minnesota and Colorado were buyers at the recent trade deadline. Grizzlies won the face-off, and they'll skate out the rest of the first period as the horn sounds at Heritage Bank Center. And after 1 period, Cyclones lead 1-0 on a goal from Luke Granger, 2:10 in. One of the assists went to former Grizzly Sean Kennedy. Gabriel Bernier picked up the other assists. Kennedy's wearing number 74 as a Cincinnati Cyclone. With the Grizzlies, Sean Kennedy wore number 17. So we'll come back and talk some hockey on the other side and go over the first 20 minutes. So there really wasn't much statistically outside of the Granger goal. Neither team committed a penalty in the first period, and Cincinnati doubled up Utah in the shot count 12-6. A winning road trip is on the line for the Grizzlies as they lost 3-2 on Friday night. Last night, they got a big 5-0 victory. We'll see if Utah can put together a strong second period to climb back into this game. After one period, it's the Cincinnati Cyclones 1 and the Utah Grizzlies 0. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; AthleticNet, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Welcome back to Grizzlies Hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out in the professional green studios inside the Grizzlies office at Maverick Center. Grizzlies over at Heritage Bank Center as they're looking for a two-game weekend sweep over the Cincinnati Cyclones. The lone goal in the game was scored by Luke Granger, 2:10 in. It was his 13th of the year on a backhand shot as puck was fed out in front. Sean Kennedy and Gabriel Bernier each picked up the assist, and I think it was Kennedy that picked up the primary assist, centering it to Granger, and Granger's backhand shot got past Kaiser as the Cyclones took a 1-0 lead. Cincinnati outshot Utah 12-6 in the first period. Granger led the Cyclones with 3 shots. Curtis Henry had 2 shots, and then 7 other Cyclones with 1 shot through 1 period. Of the 6 shots Utah had, unfortunately, the Grizzlies didn't get a shot in the final 6 minutes of the first period. Tyler Gratton had 2. Colby Enns, Yaroslav Yevdokimov, Danny Genev, and Andrew Noel each had 1 shot. Kaiser stopped 11 of 12 in the first period for the Grizzlies. He is celebrating his 27th birthday today. And Ken Appleby on the Cincinnati side, he stopped all 6 in the first period. Last night, professional hockey teams from the state of Utah each picked up 2 standings points in the state of Ohio, a combined 4 standings points, as the Utah Mammoth got a 5-4 overtime victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets in a very spirited affair. And the Grizzlies, obviously, with their 5-0 shutout win over the Cincinnati Cyclones. And if you joined us late, Hunter Miskell last night became the 4th different Grizzly goaltender to register a shutout. It's the 2nd time in team history where the Grizzlies have had 4 different goaltenders get a shutout. The other time was in the 1999-2000 season. Actually, for a Sunday, it's a very busy day across the league. Let's go over some of the other scores. No games have gone final in the league, so everything is in progress. After one period, no score between Reading and Greensboro. Also scoreless after one, Jacksonville and Kalamazoo. Trois-Rivières has a 2-0 lead over Worcester as the Lions got 2 goals on 9 shots. That game is through one period. Both teams are at about the 500 mark record-wise. Trois-Rivières leads Worcester 2-0. After one period, Adirondack leads Maine 1-0. Adirondack doubled up Maine in the shot count 10-5. After one period of play, South Carolina leads Savannah 2-1. Oddly enough, the Grizzlies will never play against South Carolina ever. You talk about the weird scheduling you see in the league sometimes. Grizzlies will never play the South Carolina Stingrays unless both teams end up reaching the Kelly Cup Finals this season. After one period at Credit Union of Texas Event Center, Allen leads Tulsa 1-0. Harrison Blaisdell found the back of the net 18:02 into the first period. The Grizzlies' next opponent will be the Tulsa Oilers, who have a record of 18-31-5. However, Tulsa's played some good hockey as of late as they are 5-3-2 in their last 10 games. Getting underway in about an hour and a half from now at 3:15 in the Mountain Time Zone, it's going to be Wichita and their 23-22-5-4 record. They will take on the Toledo Walleye, who are 32-13-4-4. And if you talk about tough scheduling, Wichita the last 2 nights were playing in Indianapolis as they took on the Fuel, and then they've got to make a bus ride to Toledo and play one of the toughest teams in the league in an afternoon game in the third game in 3 days. So that's action across this league. When we come back, we'll go over the NHL scores, and that includes the Colorado Avalanche in their battle against the Minnesota Wild. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Sunday afternoon. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
After one period, Cincinnati leads Utah 1-0. Action across the National Hockey League. After 2 periods, the Colorado Avalanche, the Grizzlies NHL affiliate, has a 1-0 lead over the Minnesota Wild. Nathan McKinnon scored his 43rd goal of the season, with Nazem Kadri getting his 30th assist of the year, and that was 12:19 into the second period. Both teams have had quite a few shots, as Colorado's taken 26 shots and the Wild have 24. After 2 periods, 2 of the best offensive teams in the league, but it looks like defense is dominating the day. Colorado leads 1-0, and the difference in the game is superstar Nathan McKinnon scoring his 43rd of the year halfway through the second period. Getting underway at 2:30, the Boston Bruins are at the Pittsburgh Penguins. That game's going to be played on national TV on TNT. The Avalanche Wild game is also on national TV. It's on TNT. This is the first of a doubleheader. At 4 o'clock, Charles-Edouard Dastou and the Tampa Bay Lightning take on the red-hot Buffalo Sabres. Boy, that's an outstanding matchup. Unfortunately, that's not on national TV, but it's certainly worthy of it. Tampa's 39-18-4. And how about the Buffalo Sabres? They are 38-19-6 on the season. At 4 o'clock, the Blackhawks are at the Dallas Stars. At 5 o'clock, in a rematch of the 1995 Stanley Cup Finals, the Detroit Red Wings are at the New Jersey Devils. At 7 o'clock, the Blues are at the Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim's got a record of 35-24-3. And Anaheim is currently in first place in the Pacific Division by 1 point as they have 73 standings points. And Vegas, who's in second place, has 72. Edmonton's currently in third place in the Pacific Division with 68 standings points. And the Utah Mammoth, if the playoffs start today, they would occupy the first wild card slot, as Utah's got a record of 34, 25, and 4. They are 5 points ahead of Seattle, who's currently occupying the second wild card spot, as Seattle is 29, 24, and 9. Other action across the National Hockey League at 7:30. One other game that's going to be on national TV on ESPN. The Oilers are at the Golden Knights. So that's certainly a huge game in terms of positioning in the Pacific Division, as right now Edmonton and Vegas are jostling back and forth for second place in the Pacific Division. And with the Ducks taking on the Blues, and the Ducks obviously being favorites in that game, Vegas and Edmonton are hoping to either catch up with Anaheim, or in the case of Vegas, who's only 1 point behind, a Ducks loss or a Vegas win, or maybe an Anaheim loss. There's a few different scenarios. Obviously, when you get a standing point for losing in overtime, just about anything is possible. And with that in mind, you see so many wild scenarios in terms of the playoffs. And obviously, some people would call it the loser point, quote unquote. But, when you get that standing point for losing in overtime, it's almost like you get 1 out of 2 points for the night, which, the funny thing is, if you just lost in overtime every single game, you'd have no wins throughout the season. You'd have like a 500 point percentage, because your record would be 0, and 72. You'd pick up 72 out of a possible 144 standings points in an ECHL season. You wouldn't win a single game all year, but you could claim you were a 500 team because you just picked up 1 out of 2 points every night. But nevertheless, that's part of the game of hockey. So that's the handful of games across the National Hockey League. And if you're watching on Flow Sports, looks like there's a graphic with all the league scores. It's just about every game that's going on in the league today is in progress outside of that Wichita-Toledo game, which will get underway in about an hour and a half. When we come back, we'll talk some hockey as we're getting ready for second period action. Both teams are running on fumes, and they're going to give the best effort they can. Grizzlies with 17 skaters, as it appears Stepan Timofeyev's out for the second straight game. Third game in 48 hours for both clubs, and with both teams traveling between Friday and Saturday's games, they're going to give whatever effort they can. And for the Grizzlies, a winning weekend road trip is on the line, as obviously the Grizzlies lost 3-2 on Friday and picked up a 5-0 victory last night. After today's game, the Grizzlies will be at home for 12 of their final 15 games. We'll talk about some of the fun stuff happening at Maverick Center, and we'll get ready for second period action as the Grizzlies have some catching up to do. It's only a 1-goal deficit, as Utah's looking for a victory on Kyle Kaiser's 27th birthday. Grizzlies trail 1-0 over the Cincinnati Cyclones. We'll come back and have second period action on the other side. You've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
We're about set for second period action, which I think is going to be in about 4 minutes of real time, When they were honoring Chris Burke, they showed Everett Fitzhugh, the former Cincinnati broadcaster, is currently the radio voice of the Seattle Kraken. We see things like that, and really with the month left in the Grizzlies season, after all, that's what we're here for. And we always talk about reaching your dreams and pursuing their dreams. And really the dream is to be Everett Fitzhugh, to be the radio voice of an NHL team. And we're doing it. I'm doing everything I can to try to find a way to get there. And for every player in this league, that's what they're trying to get to. They're trying to get to the next level. They're trying to get to the American Hockey League and eventually find their way to a National Hockey League club. And really it becomes reality when you see people like assistant equipment manager Matthew Schwegman, who was the head equipment manager for the Grizzlies a handful of years ago. When you see Trent Miner go up and down with the Colorado Avalanche as well as the Colorado Eagles. And really the only thing right now that keeps him from being in the NHL is the goaltending combination of Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wood. You're talking about two good goaltenders there, Wedgwood and Blackwood, and you're talking about, Miner kind of being third on the depth chart in the Colorado organization. But when you see Max Domi get in a fight with Charles-Edouard Dastou, and we saw Dastou just 4 years ago tear up the league, including setting a single-season playoff goals record as a Grizzly. 4 years later, you see him in the National Hockey League, and because of seeing people like that, seeing the guy I replaced, Adrian Denny, hanging out over at Delta Center as the radio pregame intermission and postgame host of the Utah Mammoth, to see Mike Folta, who had been in this league, he's up as the radio voice of the Mammoth, to see people like that, Jack Michaels, the TV voice of the Edmonton Oilers, he was in this league with the Alaska Aces. I think the Dallas Stars TV guy was part of the Alaska Aces franchise as well. And Doug Plagans, who was with the Idaho Steelheads. You see on and on the type of people who, were in this league, pursued their dreams and saw their dreams come true. And really that's the absolute only reason why I get up in the morning is to hopefully someday get my dream to come true. And that's to be a radio voice in the National Hockey League. And really for every player in this league, they see guys like Dastou and Miner get called up to the National Hockey League. We saw former Grizzly defenseman Nate Klarman playing an NHL game with Pittsburgh last year. Hunter Skinner got in a game with the St. Louis Blues earlier this season. He was with the Grizzlies during the 2020-21 season. You see those players and those people make their dreams come true, and you certainly hope, and that's really the only reason why we get up and do this is to hopefully someday have our dreams come true. As looks like we're a couple minutes away from third period action over at Heritage Bank Center. And for the Grizzlies, they've had some outstanding rookies this season, no question about it. When you look at what Danny Genev has done all season long, he leads all league rookies with 55 points. He also leads league rookies with 38 assists. And Genev's been outstanding all season long from start to finish. And believe it or not, Grizzlies got him for virtually nothing. They traded he was dominant for the Idaho Steelheads in 2 preseason games against the Grizzlies, and before you knew it, the next week, he was a member of the Grizzlies. Utah didn't have to give up anything for him, and Genev leads at 7 points and assists. Evan Friesen, who's got an AHL contract with the Colorado Eagles, you talk about what he's done over the last couple months. He is second in the club with 20 goals and 15 assists. You also got to look at Aiden Hansen-Bukatu, who leads all Grizzly defensemen with 33 assists. With the 3 assists he had last night, he is now second in the league among all rookies with 33 helpers. And obviously Riley Connors, who's got an AHL contract with Colorado, he's done some outstanding things as well as he won the league's Rookie of the Month award for February. To start the second period, the Grizzlies will have a forward line of Tyler Gratton, Evan Friesen, and Reed Lebster, and a defensive pairing of Andrew Noel and Mathieu Boilar. Grizzlies will skate from left to right as we see it in the second period. As we're watching on Flow Sports, we do ask for a little bit of patience. Unfortunately, we're at the mercy of this video feed. Cyclones dumping in a black jersey with a little bit of red mixed in and white numbers, which is certainly easier to spot than what they wore last night. Some action near the Utah blue line, and it looks like the Cyclones are offside, so we get our first whistle 11 seconds into the second period. The camera spotlights Aaron Bollinger, and boy, he was really active for Cincinnati. Actually, the faceoff's going to come back into the Grizzlies' offensive zone. So it's an offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies. Same 5 on the ice, we believe, 11 seconds into the second period. This particular forward line was outstanding. Lebster and Gratton, as well as Friesen, all three of those guys scored at least one goal last night in the 5-0 victory. As Cyclones win the draw, they're back in neutral ice. Now they'll push it back into their own zone. As Bollinger back behind Cincinnati's net. He'll tap it off the wall. As taking the puck is Nick Rayom. He'll slide it ahead to Sam Stevens. Now the Cyclones get it back to Stevens. Right side, lefty shot. Saved by Kaiser. Puck kicks off Kaiser's skate. As Stevens gets pinned to the boards. Sam Stevens pinned by Boislar. Now both guys break free. As Cincinnati skates towards a corner. Now around the net, Nick Rayom, the son of Pascal Rayom and the nephew of Manon Rayom. As the Grizzlies come back up with it. Lebster fires it in. He's got 29 goals this season. He led the Grizzlies in the 2025 calendar year in goals. It's his second year with Utah. As Rayom skates in, nicks his first name. Trying to get it around Enns, who tapped it back towards Cincinnati ice. Manning throws it to the middle of the ice. Righty shot that goes wide. As Grizzlies have switched up the forward acts a little bit, the three-man units, because they've got an odd number today as Timofeyev is out for the second straight game. Cincinnati will lumber the puck out to center ice. Rayom gets back checked by Genev, and Genev took it away. Now another Cyclone crosses center ice, and they fire it in. I believe that was Bollinger, either that or Jake Johnson, number 10. As Johnson, the former Fort Wayne Comet, and last year he was at Tahoe. Johnson, another solid season. He's one of the best defensemen in the league. Puck towards the Utah line. Genev has it. As he dances back and forth, Cincinnati takes it away. Siren pass. Now they drop it back to the right side. Righty shot, and it's blocked. As now left wing, Cincinnati curls it out in front. But the Grizzlies get a stick in the way as Hanson Bukata might have taken some lumber on the puck. Now right wing, righty shot. Saved by Kaiser. And he will hold on this time with 17:56 left in the second. As Kaiser will hand the puck to one of the linesmen. Linesmen are Willie and Nelson. I think it was Nelson that took the puck from Kaiser. Cincinnati's got a 14-7 edge in the shot count, according to the score bug. Cyclones had 12 shots to the Grizzlies, 6 in the first period. So face-offs in the right circle. John Gillette will take the draw. As you have Dokimov, Salem, Dylan Gratner on the ice. As Utah wins the face-off, as we're skating 5-on-5, there hasn't been a single penalty committed in this game. Mike Gillette will slice one ahead, right wing. It goes past Yevdokimov and John Gillette. As the two Gillette brothers are out there with Yevdokimov, Cincinnati skates around their own net as they'll throw it to the far side. First time in Grizzlies history they've had two pairs of brothers on the same team. As the Gillette and Grattan brothers are on the club. As Cincinnati skates around Kaiser's net, feeds to the left side. Shot that goes wide as they miss the net glove side on Kaiser. Cyclones will race it down deep in their own zone. As the Grizzlies will switch up forwards as Riley Connors enters. He's got 16 goals and 8 assists on the year. As puck goes towards center ice, Cyclones in control. Now they'll drop it back into their own zone. Cincinnati very patient with their approach here on this Sunday afternoon. Puck ahead as it gets some air under it. Boislar bats it ahead. Now the puck slides towards the left corner as Boislar gives a rough ride towards Justin Vive. As Vive around the net wearing number 46. He'll feed it up top. Right point now across. Cyclones off the left wing off a Vilio's stick, and he'll roll the puck around the boards as Genev taps the head but not out. As Vive throws it back to the corner. As Noel delivers a big hit. And now Boislar. Well, I tried to light up a Cyclone, but Cincinnati kind of sidestepped him as Boislar lost his stick. He gets it back. 3.5 minutes into the second period, Cyclones lead 1-0. Cincinnati feeds up top. Now down the middle of the ice, Bollinger. He gets around Genea. Bollinger, right wing, righty shot blocker saved by Kaiser. But boy, you got to be impressed with Bollinger, the way he's played so far today for Cincinnati. Batted by Kaiser, and it's played with a high stick. It goes into the back of the net. No goal, says the referee. Cincinnati argues the case as Liam Kidney batted it. Looked like Kaiser got a piece of it with his stick. Puck was twirling in the air. Batted by Kidney. And immediately one of the referees signaled no goal. Cincinnati's kind of doing a half celebration. Kidney believes that the goal should count. And I think they might go to video replay. So looks like you're going to take an extra look at it. Puck was out in front of the net. Looked like Kaiser tried to bat it. And then Kidney, was it a high stick or not? Well, it was shoulder high, maybe a little bit above the shoulder. Immediately, the referee behind the net signaled no goal. And, you know, if you're looking at the crossbars being kind of a reference, it might be a little bit high. as it was just over the crossbar, and Kidney just kind of batted it into the back of the net. And immediately the referee, who was in the right place to make the call, he signaled no goal. So unless they're very liberal as to what a high stick is, it should stay a 1-0 game. As Liam Kidney, just new to the pro game, he signed on March 5th. He's looking for his first pro goal, as he had played at Acadia University for 4 seasons. Puck ricocheted off Kaiser as they show another replay, and Kidney batted it. And if you're looking at the crossbar as a reference, it looked like the puck was over the crossbar, and Kidney batted it past Kaiser. And the referee, and that's still in Sater, he was in the perfect place to make the right call. And it appeared that it was the right call, and really it'd be surprising if they counted the goal. So calling the ice is no goal, and because of that, they're going to be looking for some sort of evidence to say that it was otherwise. And, if the puck was about shoulder high and was batted by Kidney, then you'd maybe have a case there if you're Cincinnati. I'm not sure in this particular case that they've got a point to be made. So it should stay 1-0. As the faceoff should be back in the Grizzlies zone, or maybe it'll be at neutral ice. They're continuing to take a good long look at it, even though from a Grizzlies fan perspective, you'd probably say it's pretty obvious. So we're early in the second period, and Cincinnati has a 1-0 lead. The Grizzlies have found it tough to get some scoring chances. Obviously, a club with as much pride as Cincinnati has, they've lost 2 in a row here in this weekend, and they're trying to make amends for it. As we kind of joked about last week, when you blow out a team the way the Grizzlies did against Tahoe on February 25th, an 8-3 final, the last thing you want to do the next game is play that same team, because, if that team has any sort of pride, they're going to come out with a strong effort the next game. And that Cincinnati, a team that, even though they're on the outside looking in at the playoff picture, they're a team that does have a lot of pros and has a lot of pride. So they're continuing to look at it. I'm surprised at just how long they're looking at this replay, because it kind of seems pretty obvious it was played with a high stick, because it looked like the puck was about 5-6 inches above the crossbar and batted in. His Kidney just kind of he rose the stick enough to where it looks pretty obvious from a replay, unless they've got an extra shot that makes it look like the puck was a little bit lower. So I'm really surprised at just how long this replay is taking. This looks like team leaders on both sides are near the scores table. Justin Vive and I believe Tyler Gratton as Stevens is hanging out with Aiden Hansen-Mukata. Everybody's just trying to get the verdict. But it seems like the verdict is pretty obvious. And if it is a no goal, I'm not sure you're going to get much of an argument on the Cincinnati side. Sam Stevens, first-year pro, in a lighter moment with Hansen-Mukata. Stevens has got an AHL contract with the Toronto Marlies. In fact, he spent all of last season with Toronto, where he had 2 goals and 2 assists in 21 games. Stevens played his college hockey at Boston University from 2019 through 2024. As Hansen-Mukata, the former RIT and Ohio State product. And it is a shocker just how long this replay's taking. Because unless they've got something else that makes it look like a tougher call, it really doesn't seem like it's that difficult a decision. Now the referee's coming out of the scores table. And we wanted to get the verdict, but it looks like they're just going to show the replay as Kidney batted it as he rose his stick. And no goals to play. We could have saved about 5 or 6 minutes if you just looked at the first shot. It looked like it was pretty obvious, but nevertheless, they took a good long look at it to make sure they got it right. And the call is confirmed a no goal. So it's still a 1-0 Cincinnati lead. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. As faceoff's going to be, actually, it's going to be a neutral zone draw, won by Utah. As Colby Enns, who was a +3 last night, he has led the Grizzly defenseman in plus-minus throughout the season. Cincinnati skates back in as they'll tap it around the boards. Now it's cut off in the right corner by Rayom. They'll get it up top as they try to slide it across towards Bollinger, and the puck exits to neutral ice. Bollinger will race back into his own zone. Actually, that's Jake Johnson, number 10, who's a left-shot defenseman. Puck ahead to the left corner. Ryan Kerwin in the area. As Lepster trying to pitchfork it ahead towards Friesen. Puck slides up top. Johnson gets it across. Cyclones right wing, righty shot saved by Kaiser, as that might be Rhett Parsons, number 3, is paired up with Johnson today. Parsons has an AHL contract with Toronto, as the Marlies and Maple Leafs have really helped out Cincinnati. That was the affiliates of the Newfoundland Growlers, and the Growlers were a perennial winner in this league, and a big part of why they were a perennial winner was because they got great help from their affiliates, just like Cincinnati's gotten this year. Cyclones over the offensive zone, skate towards the right circle, siren out in front, and it's poked away by Kaiser. Grizzlies back towards center ice as Connors directs it towards his left, looking for Dylan Gratton. Cincinnati comes back up with it. Cyclones siring pass towards Fontaine and glanced off his stick as he was trying to lunge for the puck as he was about 10 feet in front of Kaiser. Grizzlies towards center ice. Jania will dump it in as he chases after it. As Barbashev's on the ice, as Cincinnati skates around a Grizzly. Skating strongly is Aaron Sherratt, the big 6'4" defenseman, as the Grizzlies have it back and they're in their own zone. Luke Salem dances around as he'll slice one ahead near the bench area, north-south feed, as it goes deep into the Cyclone zone. And it's run down by Curtis Henry, number 37, as he gets hit by Manning. Barbashev over in the left corner. Grizzlies skate from left to right in the period. Barbashev tried to get to Connors. Puck stuck away back towards Barbashev. He feeds it up top. Noel lefty shot, and that one goes wide. Noel scored his first pro goal with Cincinnati earlier this season, as he had 2 with Cincinnati and 1 with the Grizzlies. Cincinnati right wing, they look to center it towards Sherratt, and it goes wide of the mark. As Andrew Noel skates towards the corner, he gets cut off by a Cyclone. Boilar and Connors looking nearby. As Noel gets it ahead, puck goes to neutral ice, but it's in control of the Cyclones. Cincinnati whips it towards their left as the Cyclone gets cut off by Boilar, who's about as strong as anybody in this league. Cyclones roll it toward the middle of the ice. It's taken back by Utah. Barbashev as Bernier in the back check. Bernier took it away. The Grizzlies sandwich Cincinnati behind Kaiser's net. Grizzlies towards center ice. John Gillette tried to push it ahead, but didn't get very far. As Cincinnati, rink-wide feed, angle left goes tape to tape. Now the Cyclones bounce one to the corner, run down by Sean Kennedy. Noel with a big-time hit on Kennedy. Oh, it looked like that one shook Kennedy up a little bit as he got hit up high by Noel. Now Kennedy out in front of Utah's net. As puck towards Villio, left point, lefty shot blocker saved by Kaiser. Puck goes back towards the left point as Mike Gillette getting physical on a Cyclone, and that's Sean Kennedy. As Kennedy and John Gillette, or Mike Gillette, each signed with Utah at about the same time. Cincinnati gets it ahead. Puck goes deep into the Grizzlies zone, but it got redirected at neutral ice and no icing. As we play on, less than 13 minutes left in the second period. Cyclones still lead 1-0. Grizzlies firing all the way cross ice. It goes to the crease where it's played by Appleby. Haven't talked about Ken Appleby much. The Grizzlies have only had 7 shots on him in the first 38 minutes of play. Actually, it's the first 28 minutes of play. Math is hard sometimes. As Colby Enns skates around Kaiser's net. Now Enns reverses his field. He'll nudge it to his left. Grizzlies solicit it back towards Colby Enns, but the puck directs back to Kaiser. Now Enns will move it out to center ice as he was looking for Riley Connors. Puck goes wide of the mark. Connors is out there with Mikey Colella and Danny Genev. Cyclones roll it back towards Kaiser, and Kaiser covers up as it looked like a Cyclone, Liam Kidney, was battling for the puck, and he was trying to corral the bouncing puck, and it rolled all the way towards Kaiser, who covers up. 12 minutes and 13 seconds are left in the second period. Cyclones still lead 1-0. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe that you should get more from less. Like exclusive tires we design ourselves means more tires made for the roads that you drive, less compromise. And we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. And our 60-day satisfaction guarantee means you'll be way more satisfied and way less stressed. For all this and more, you get more from less.
13 seconds left in the second period. Cincinnati leads 1-0. Well, the Grizzlies are putting together a good effort, but they just haven't maintained a whole lot of offensive zone time. Riley Connors, Danny Genev, and Tyler Gratton each have 2 shots. Ends, Yevdokimov and Noel have 1 shot each. Faceoffs in the Grizzlies zone as Utah's up to 9 shots, including 3 in the second period. Cincinnati with 4 shots here in the second. As puck goes back into the Grizzlies zone, unfortunately, we've seen the Grizzlies zone a little bit more than Cincinnati's side, as they're led by Ken Appleby, who's got an AHL contract with the Toronto Marlies. Appleby played in 4 NHL games in his career, 3 of which with the New Jersey Devils. As the Grizzlies high slot, their shot, I couldn't tell where the shot ended up, as Friesen slides it towards the left wing. Not an official shot according to the score bug, so Friesen must have missed wide. As Gratton taps it up top, while they were looking for Colby Enns, but anticipating the play was Cincinnati's Ryan Kerwin. He crosses center ice and throws it in. Kerwin had 3 seasons where he was a teammate of Genev, left wing, and a lefty shot saved by Kaiser as the puck was along the left wing boards and looked like a Cyclone just tried to fire a prayer towards the net. And Kaiser made the stop with 11:26 left in the second. You had mentioned Kerwin, 3 years at Penn State from 2021 through 2024, where he was a teammate not only with Danny Genev, but he was also there with the Gratton brothers, Tyler and Dylan Gratton. And then Kerwin transferred to Arizona State last season, and he was absolutely dominant in a Sun Devils uniform as he averaged almost a goal per game. He had 26 goals in 37 games. He had 39 points in 7 games. So he is more than a point a game for Arizona State. Grizzlies over the offensive zone. Genev looked for a centering pass out in front, and it was denied. As Barbashev was cutting towards the net, he got taken off the puck by Curtis Henry. Now the Grizzlies, sharp-angled shot goes wide as they try to either curl one towards the net as Barbashev gets it up top. As Dylan Gratton fires a prayer, and that's blocked. It might have gotten blocked before it gets to Appleby. As Barbashev over with Genev, as Barbashev will slide it towards the right corner, loose puck, as a Grizzly pins Cincinnati to the boards, as a Grizzly gets a good, strong cross-check in the side, and now the puck goes back towards Cincinnati, as Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine gets to the middle of the ice, and one of the best names in the league has the puck right now, Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine, tries to split a double team, he goes down, Grizzlies play the puck, Dylan Gratton gets hit by Fontaine, as the puck goes back towards the left wing. As Barbashev will slide it to the middle of the ice. Grizzlies, they enter 2-on-3. Grizzlies left wing, lefty shot. And that goes wide on Appleby as they try to shoot it stick side on him. Cincinnati back towards center ice off the stick, and it goes to Andrew Noel, the former Cyclone. Head to Mike Gillette over the line. Gillette, he'll fire a righty shot, and that one misses as the puck goes back to the right corner as Mike Gillette gets hit by Villio on the back. Now the puck will slide from the right wing on towards Appleby. He covers up with 9 minutes and 56 seconds left in the second period. So we're past the halfway point, and not a whole lot has happened statistically. Luke Granger scored 2:10 into the first period, and that's the lone goal so far. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
9 minutes, 56 seconds left in the second period. Cyclones lead 1-0. Lone goal of the game is scored by Luke Granger, 2:10 in, with former Grizzly Sean Kennedy as well as Gabriel Bernier getting the assists. For the Grizzlies, Connors, Genev, and Tyler Gratton each have 2 shots. It's an offensive zone draw for Utah as Riley Connors will take it. He's out there with Danny Genev and Mikey Colella. The Grizzlies a little bit shorthanded in terms of forwards as Stepan Timofeyev is missing his second straight game. John Kennedy, the former Grizzlies, taking the draw for Cincinnati. Face-off won by Utah. Waller high slot. Lefty shot. Saved by Appleby in the butterfly position. He holds on with 9:51 left in the second. as Poilard gets his first shot of the game, as he is making his 39th appearance overall this season, as he's got 1 assist, and that came in a Grizzlies uniform on February 16th against the Bloomington Bison. So Connors takes the draw once again, and it's won by Utah, but it's knifed back to center ice. As Noel fires it back in, it's played by a Cyclone as they get it across to Villio from Bollinger. As Connors gets to Genev, right side, lefty shot, saved by Appleby. Genev gets it back. He's got 17 goals this season. Moves it across, righty shot, and a score! Genev to Connors, to the back of the net. Riley Connors gets his 17th of the year, and we're tied at 1. And Genev gets another primary assist across to Connors, and Connors just whipped a one-timer like he's done over and over again over the last month. As Connors fired it past Danny Genev. So just like that, we're tied at 1, and the magician, Danny Genev, gets his 4th primary assist of this road trip, and he gets his 39th helper of the season. So it took the 13th shot for Utah to finally get one past Ken Appleby, and the Grizzlies have really pushed the tempo here as Connors got his 17th of the year, 10:27 in. Left wing, lefty shot, saved by Kaiser. That shot was taken by Liam Kidney, who's been very active for Cincinnati, just a recent signee by the Cyclones, as Kaiser makes a stop on his 27th birthday with 9:21 left in the second. So really shouldn't be too surprised that it was the big-time playmaker, Danny Genev, of the 39 assists he's got this season. Well, it's hard to really tell how many primary assists he has, but it's got to be in the 30s. As Danny Genev once again makes his presence felt. As Connors gets the goal right now, Genev is listed with the only assist, and that is 10:27 into the second period. And so for Riley Connors, 11 goals in the month of February, and he picks up his 17th of the year, which now ranks tied for 3rd on the club, as Connors and Danny Genev each have 17 goals, as Utah iced the puck with 9:06 left in the second. Lepser leads Utah with 29 goals, which ranks 2nd in the league. Evan Friesen with 20 goals, and now Riley Connors and Danny Genev are tied for 3rd as they each have 17 goals on the season. So faceoff's going to be back in the Grizzlies zone as Evan Friesen will take the draw against Sam Stevens. Stevens, the Boston University product, 2nd-year pro. Cincinnati left wing, they fire towards the net, and it's blocked before it gets to Kaiser. That shot was taken by Jake Johnson. Grizzlies race up ice, left wing, as they try to filter one across, and puck goes wide of Friesen. Now Friesen gets pushed in the back by a Cyclone. Lepster on a drive-by trying to yank the puck away. Now the puck goes to Tyler Gratton, as he'll drop it looking for Colbians. Now it slides back to center ice. Aiden Buchanan will hike it back in. As the Cyclones back behind their own net, Grizzlies challenge them at every spot on the ice. Cincinnati out towards the right wing, out to center ice off of Dylan Gratton's stick. And the puck will slide back to center ice. Cyclones fire onto Kaiser, gloves it, and immediately drops it to keep the play alive. Dylan Gratton up ahead. Grizzlies in the offensive zone as Lepster lays it for Gratton. As the puck goes back to Lepster, he slides it up top. Dylan Gratton fires a prayer towards the net, and it's sticked away by Cincinnati. Rolls along the board slowly to Friesen as he tried to get it back up top to Gratton, and Cincinnati took it away. Cyclones over the offensive zone. Grizzlies back defensively. Down the middle of the ice, Cincinnati gets dragged down in front of Kaiser, and the arm is raised. Tripping's going to be the call, and it looks like Cincinnati's going to get the first power play of the game. 7:55 left in the second. We're tied at 1. And Cincinnati was one of the better power play units in the league at 20.5%. And Utah at 22.4% on the power play. The Grizzlies ranked 24th on the penalty kill at 78.4%. Utah has not had a power play as of yet. As Kyle Kaiser just kind of skating back and forth, as I think on the trip that happened in front of him, a Cyclone crashed into Kaiser. So it's a Cincinnati power play. As we mentioned before, Cyclones 20.5% on the power play this year. 7:55 left in the second period, and it's a 1-1 tie. For Cincinnati, you got to watch out for Ryan Kerwin. He has 9 power play goals and 8 power play assists this season. Jake Johnson has 13 power play assists. Also watch out for Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine with 4 power play goals, and Justin Vive has 5 power play goals on the season. Grizzlies win the faceoff. Connors clears it up and not out. Now another Grizzly will chip it back towards Cincinnati ice, and that was John Gillette, who's one of the best penalty-killing forwards on the Grizzlies club. Cincinnati dangles back and forth out to center ice. Cincinnati crosses the center red line. They'll chip it in. Justin Vive chasing after it. Gets there about the same time as John Gillette, who thought he got hit up high. Cyclones towards the left wing. They get back up top. Right wing, righty shot, and that's blocked by Kaiser. Shot was taken by Jackson Murray, who's in his 7th game as a Cyclone. As Bollinger back towards Murray, just outside the right circle, back up top to Bollinger. One-timer kick saved by Kaiser as it ricocheted off his right ankle. Now down the middle of the ice, righty shot, and that one goes wide as Kaiser extended his right leg out. Now back towards the right wing. It's off of Murray. Sticky regathers it. Murray skates towards the right goal line, now around Kaiser's net. He feeds it back towards the left wing. As Bernier, he fires a righty shot that goes wide. As Cincinnati doing a good job of creating traffic in front of the net. Grizzlies get it, and they'll slice it all the way towards Cincinnati ice. Appleby's holding on to the puck in front of the crease. Now he moves to his right. Grizzlies switch up skaters, and so did the Cyclones. And now we get something away from the play. And now there's a little bit of a confusion. And not sure what it was. It looked like we were looking deep into the Cincinnati zone. That's where the puck was, and abruptly a play stopped. If you're watching on Flow Sports, there's some of the special team statistics. If the Grizzlies can just get a couple power plays, they could do some damage here. Cincinnati has really struggled on the penalty kill this year at just 71.7%. The power play stats, I think, are actually dead wrong involving the Grizzlies. As Utah this season on the power play, although they're on the penalty kill now, so it doesn't really matter. The Grizzlies' power play is actually 44 for 196. So I think those graphics involving the Grizzlies are about as wrong as it gets. Then again, at the start of the game, the graphics said that it was the Adirondack Thunder taking on the Cincinnati Cyclones. Nevertheless, power play continues for the next 42 seconds. We're still tied at 1. Grizzlies cross center ice. Actually, Cincinnati crosses center ice. And, it looked like they're offside by a mile, but we play on. Cyclones get pinned by Boilard towards the wall. As the puck's in the right corner, Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. 6:20 on a moving clock, second period. Boilard's in the area with Noel and Luke Manning, as Stevens and Kerwin, as well as Realm, hold their ground. 3-on-3 scrum. 15 seconds left in Cincinnati's power play. Cyclones get it up top. Now towards Jake Johnson. He'll drop it off to the left wing for Fontaine. He'll slide it to his right. Lefty shot. And that one is deflected. 5 seconds left in the power play. Grizzlies clear it out. And it's a successful penalty kill by the Grizzlies. As coming out of the box, let's see who it was. I couldn't tell, but nevertheless, it's a successful penalty kill down the middle. High slot. Lefty shot by Vilios, saved by Kaiser. The Grizzly gets dragged down going after a loose puck. Spoiler clears it up and out. Puck goes to neutral ice. As Friesen moves it across to Boiler, who will shovel it ahead to the Cincinnati line. 5.5 minutes left in the second period. We're tied at 1. Luke Granger scored an early first period goal for Cincinnati. Riley Connors connected on one-timer. Now Cincinnati starting pass shot. And that one looked like it had gone in. The crowd started to celebrate, but we play on. We're still tied at 1. Cincinnati feeds to the right side. Righty shot's blocked. Grizzlies clear it out. And Cincinnati gets it back at their blue line. Villio accepts it. As he'll skate around Friesen, he kind of dangled and twirled his body back and forth to try to break free of Friesen. Less than 5 minutes left in the second period. We're still tied at 1. Liam Kidney whips the puck around the boards. Reed Lepster plays it a neutral ice. Lepster with momentum. Steps over the offense line. Veers off to his right. Lepster, he fires righty shot. And that one's blocked away, and it goes out of play with 4 minutes and 46 seconds. That's the time remaining in this second period. Timeout on the ice. Grizzlies have an extra bounce to their step here in the second period as we're tied at 1 on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
4 minutes and 46 seconds are left in the second period. And we're tied at 1. And considering it's the third game in less than 48 hours, both teams have put together an outstanding effort. Kyle Kaiser on his 27th birthday is protecting Utah's net today. He has saved 21 of 22. So face-offs can be in the Cyclone zone as the Grizzlies have the Gillette brothers on the ice, John and Mike. Mike is older than John. Mike's a little bit bigger physically than John Gillette. Colby Ends on the ice for the Grizzlies. He's had a strong first year. 10 of the 17 skaters for the Grizzlies this afternoon are first-year pros. Draw one by Cincinnati as they'll skate around their own net. As Aaron Sherrod, who didn't play last night, he replaces Spencer Cox in the lineup as the puck goes out of play as he tried to slide it to Henfard's side as Connors is battling with number 91, Gabriel Bernier. And actually, the puck looked like it ended up in the uniform of Bernier. Puck's going back into the Cyclone zone, and Bernier can't believe it. He thinks the draw should be at neutral ice. Sean Kennedy spotlighted as he's standing in the slot. He wore number 17 for the Grizzlies in 17 games, and now he's wearing number 74. As John Gillette will take the draw, now 3 of the 4 officials are talking over as to where the faceoff should be. Should it be at neutral ice like Bernier believes, or is it going to be Grizzlies offensive zone draw? And it looks like the draw is going to stay in the Grizzlies offensive zone as John Gillette will take it. He's got his brother Mike to his left, and Yevdokimov to his right. Up top is Hanson Bukata and Colby Ends. Cincinnati wins the draw as both teams spread the ice. Cyclones move it ahead as puck goes all the way down towards Kaiser, and Kyle Kaiser with a strong outlet pass towards the Cincinnati blue line. Cyclones get it back as Villia will pedal to his left. Now he shuffles his feet and moves it ahead to center ice. Granger's got Cincinnati's lone goal. He stops in the left circle before he gets belted by John Gillette. As the puck goes towards the net, Kaiser makes a stop. Good job by the Grizzlies protecting the birthday boy in front of the crease. As play stops with 4:16 left in the second. Skaters come on and off. As Dylan Sater talking with Grizzly goaltender Kyle Kaiser. Kaiser kind of pleading his case. Kaiser goes 6'2". That means that referee Dylan Sater has got to be close to maybe 6'5" or 6'6", one of the taller goaltenders in this league. As faceoff's going to be in the Grizzlies zone. After today's game, Utah will have 15 games left in the regular season, and 12 of them will be at Maverick Center. We want to see a big crowd all 3 nights that the Grizzlies have against the Tulsa Oilers. Next game for the Grizzlies will be this upcoming Thursday, March 12th, the rare Thursday home game. Make sure to get your tickets at UtahGrizzlies.com. Cincinnati from the left corner centers it, and it's sticked away. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Now the Cyclones, right wing, righty shot. Glove saved by Kaiser. He holds on. That shot was taken by Rhett Parsons, who's a native of Alberta, and he's got an AHL contract with the Toronto Marlies. So it's going to be a draw back in the Grizzlies zone. Kaiser has been solid not only with the Grizzlies, but with the Colorado Eagles this season. As Cincinnati's got their top forward line of Stevens, Rayom, and Kerwin. Grizzlies have a line of Riley Connors out there with Danny Genev and Mikey Colella. That was the forward line that led to Utah's second period goal. Grizzlies have actually played pretty well in the second period over the last couple of games. That had been a big bugaboo over the course of the season. Now Genev skates towards the middle of the ice. He gets dragged down by a Cyclone, and no cause. Riley Connors gets it, and he'll drop it back to a spot he vacated. Genev throws it back to Connors, over to Genev in the left corner, as Genev gets pushed by Rhett Parsons and taken off the puck, as Parsons does a good job making sure Genev can't get back to his feet. Now the puck goes back towards Cincinnati, and I got to imagine Danny Genev is on the top of the Cincinnati scouting report, making sure they don't let him beat him. Connors gets the puck on the right side from Genev. He fires a righty shot, and that one goes high as he tried to go glove side on Ken Appleby, the big 6'4" goaltender. Some publications have him listed at 6'5". As puck to the right corner. Cincinnati slides it across all alone. Fontana looked to center it. One pass too many as it ricocheted off the stick of Jackson Murray. Murray, a native of Ontario, 5'10", 181 pounds. Cyclones get across. Vilio, left side. He's got 10 goals this season. Moved it across, but it ricochets off a stick. Cincinnati in the left corner gets it back to Vilio. Lefty shot saved by Connors. Connors trying to backhand it, but ricocheted off of Manning. Connors gets it back, and he'll slide it back to center ice. Cyclones in control as Vilio moves to his left, shuffles his feet. Now he steps over the offense line. He gets around Boilard. Centering pass, ricochets off two sticks. Connors and Colella try to bat it. Now it goes back to Utah. As the Grizzlies towards the Cincinnati line, Barbashev lays it for Manning. As Boilard, actually it's Boilard, he takes a lefty shot, and that goes wide. Now the Grizzlies get it back as Bucata slides it over to Enns. Enns fires a righty shot. That's wide. Barbashev and Manning nearby. As the puck goes back towards Cincinnati. About 2 minutes left in the second period. We're tied at 1. As Cincinnati curls it towards the right circle, Yevdokimov will slice it ahead. As the puck will slide deep into the Cincinnati zone. Arm is enthusiastically raised by the linesmen, Willie and Nelson. And so the draw is going to come back towards Kyle Kaiser as there's 1 minute and 54 seconds left in the second period. Looked like there was about a 3 or 4 minute barrage there right around the time Riley Connors scored, but the Grizzlies had taken about 6 or 7 shots. That's all the Grizzlies really have had in the second period is 7 shots, and most of them came around that time where Connors scored the goal as he delivered 10:27 into the second period. So Manning will take the draw for Utah. And the fire alarm has gone off here at Maverick Center. As the Grizzlies win the draw, Barbashev gets it ahead. And the puck goes out to center ice. Cincinnati fires it back in, and Enns rolls it around Utah's net. Hands to Bucata back to Enns. He's at the near goal line. Up ahead towards Manny, turns it over. Kennedy slides in the middle of the ice. Righty shot, saved by Kaiser. Now towards the middle of the ice. Righty shot goes over Kaiser's head. Puck still in play as Kennedy around the boards. As Barbashev tried to line up Cincinnati, who avoided a check. As Cincinnati back towards the right wing, as they get to the corner, Cyclones, they try to chip it out in front. Puck goes back up top as a ricochet off the stick that's laying in the right circle. Cyclones towards the left wing. As they get to the middle of the ice, great job by a Grizzly taking Jake Johnson away from the puck. There's about 1 minute left in the second period. As Rhett Parsons accepts it, he's back in the Cincinnati zone. Moves it across to Johnson, who's from Bloomington, Minnesota. Johnson dumps it in. There's still a stick laying in the right point of the Grizzlies zone. Utah ahead. 50 seconds left in the period as Manning gets nudged in the back. 5 ahead as Cincinnati skates towards the right circle of momentum. Righty shot. That goes wide. Kaiser got a piece of it. Now shot and a score. As the rebound connected, and Justin Vive, the longtime Cyclone, picks up his 11th goal of the year. The first shot was taken by, we believe, Marko Sikic, and then Vive out in front. Put the puck in the back of the net. Just like that, Cincinnati leads 2-1. As Cyclones fired away from the right side, kick saved by Kaiser. Utah tried to clear it, and then Vive came in, and he ricocheted the puck in the back of the net. Kaiser off his right pad. Did Vive get it with his stick or with his skate? I don't know if it was a kicking motion or if it was Vive getting it with his stick. Although it looks like Vive, he had Dylan Gratton out in front, and Vive put it away with Dylan Gratton nearby. Didn't take an extra look at it, so everybody believed that it's a good goal, and it is, as Vive gets his 11th of the year. And it's 2-1 Cincinnati here late in the second period. Grizzlies get it towards Lepster. He crosses center ice. Lepster over the offensive blue. Whips it around as Utah looking to get some momentum back here in this final shift of the second period. As Lepster gets hit in the back by a Cyclone, and that's Nick Riom, who's got over 100 penalty minutes this season. As Lepster gets physical in the corner with Vilio. Riom trying to throw the puck away as there's 10 seconds left. As now Friesen joins the battle with Sam Stevens. 3 seconds left in the period. Puck slides to the corner. Utah trying to get one final shot, but they couldn't get it off in the latter portion of the second period. Time runs out. And boy, that Justin Vive goal, that might end up being a critical mark here in this hockey game as he scored 19-17 into the second period. And right now, that's the difference in the game. Cincinnati with a 1-goal lead after 1, and they lead by 1 after 2 periods. Vive's goal was assisted by Marko Sikic, and Jake Johnson. So the Cyclones get some momentum heading into the locker room as Justin Vive, who's been with the Cyclones for a long, long time. As Vive not only has the all-time lead in points in Cyclones history, but many statistical categories. He's been with Cincinnati for the most part since the 2016-2017 season. He even goes back to his first year as a pro with Cincinnati in the 2011-2012 season. He's also spent some time in the AHL with San Antonio, Hartford, Rochester, and Belleville. And he also had one season with Fort Wayne when only half the teams in the league played during the 2020-21 season. We'll come back and recap the first 40 minutes and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. And we'll check in on the Colorado Avalanche's battle with the Minnesota Wild. After 2 periods, it's Cincinnati 2 and Utah 1. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
After 40 minutes of play over at Heritage Bank Center, the Cincinnati Cyclones lead the Utah Grizzlies 2-1. Final regular season meeting ever between the Grizzlies and Cyclones. It's the 9th meeting all-time. Utah's 3-5 against Cincinnati. Grizzlies got a 5-0 victory last night. Grizzlies looking to build on that, and Cincinnati's looking for a little bit of revenge. You talk about that Justin Vive goal that was scored 19-17 into the second. That could end up being a gut punch there as the Grizzlies really had put together a good second period effort. But Cincinnati has really dominated the shot count. The Cyclones outshot the Grizzlies 12-6 in the first period, and Cincinnati had 15 second period shots, and the Grizzlies had 7. So the Cyclones have doubled up the Grizzlies in the shot count 27-13. If you joined us late, Cincinnati got on the board 2 minutes and 10 seconds in as Luke Granger got his 13th of the year. Former Grizzly Sean Kennedy picked up his 7th assist overall and his 3rd assist in a Cincinnati uniform. Gabriel Bernier picked up the other helper as the Cyclones took a 1-0 lead. It was a 1-0 game after 1 period, and both teams put together a pretty good defensive effort in the first frame, and really for the better part of the second period. It was more of a defense-first hockey game. Grizzlies got on the board, 10:27 in, as Geneva was hanging out in the right circle, fed one across to Riley Connors, and Connors' one-timer sliced past Ken Appleby. As Connors got his 17th of the year, and Danny Geneva with another primary assist, and he got listed with the lone assist as he now has 39 helpers on the year. And he got an apple as Connors fired one past Appleby, 10:27 into the second period, and that tied it up at 1. And Cincinnati retook the lead as Sikic was cutting towards the net. He fired it off the right pad of Kaiser. Vive got the rebounds, and we had to take a couple looks at it on the replay. Was it a kicking motion? Certainly didn't look like he moved his leg in. Whether he got it with his skate or with his stick, Vive was able to creatively get the puck past Kaiser and give Cincinnati a 2-1 lead. Marko Sikic and Jake Johnson with the assists. And for Johnson, he picked up his 28th assist of the year, which leads all current Cincinnati skaters. Kyle Kaiser on his 27th birthday. He's seen 27 shots so far, and he has stopped 25 of 27. And Ken Appleby on the Cincinnati side, he hasn't been all that busy. He has stopped 12 of 13. So Utah will be looking for a third period comeback. It's just a 1-goal deficit, but obviously both teams have a lot of fatigue to be battling in the third period. It's the third game in less than 48 hours for both the Grizzlies and Cyclones. Other scores from across the league, handful of games in action. After 2 periods, Greensboro with 5 unanswered second period goals, and they lead Reading 5-0 that game after 40 minutes of play. Kalamazoo got 2 second period goals. Jacksonville had 1, and after 2 periods, Kalamazoo's got a 1-goal lead over Jacksonville. That game is played at Wings Event Center. Kalamazoo's a 500 club this year with a record of 24, 3-3. After 2 periods, Trois-Rivières leads Worcester 3-2. Early third period, Adirondack and Maine are tied at 1. After 2 periods, South Carolina leads Savannah 3-2. And also after 2 periods, Allen has a 4-1 lead over Tulsa as the Americans have goals from 4 different players. Smith found the back of the net for Tulsa exactly 14 minutes into the second period. Getting underway in about a half hour from now at Huntington Center in Toledo, Wichita, and their 23-22, 5-4 record. They'll take on the Toledo Walleye with a record of 32-13, 4-4. If we talk about tough scenarios, Wichita the last 2 days were playing in Fishers, Indiana, taking on the Fuel. They played 2 low-scoring games against Indy, and then Wichita had to get on a bus and travel to Toledo for a Sunday afternoon game. It's the third game in 3 days for the Wichita Thunder, and that third game is against one of the best teams in the Western Conference. So that's action across the league. When we come back, we'll check in on the NHL action, including the game played between the Colorado Avalanche and the Minnesota Wild. After 40 minutes of play over at Heritage Bank Center, it's the Grizzlies trailing Cincinnati 2-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
The Colorado Avalanche have a big-time showdown with the Minnesota Wild, 2 of the best teams in the Western Conference. Both clubs are buyers at the recent trade deadline, and they are currently in a shootout, tied at 2. Nathan McKinnon scored a second-period goal assisted by Nazem Kadri, 12-19 in. And in the third period, a lot more action as Kirill Kaprizov tied it up 4-17 into the third. Nico Strom picked up a shorthanded goal, 7:01 into the third period to give Minnesota a 2-1 lead. Nicholas Waugh scored 12:39 in to tie it up at 2, and they're currently in a shootout. And it appears that both clubs, after 2 rounds of the shootout, have scored 1 goal. We'll see if later on in the intermission we'll give you an update as to who the winner is. Minnesota and Colorado currently in a shootout, tied at 2. Getting underway in a few minutes from now, the Boston Bruins take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. That game is on national TV. At 4 o'clock, a game that's not on national TV, but certainly would be worthy of it. The Tampa Bay Lightning and their 39-18-4 record take on the red-hot, surprising Buffalo Sabres, who are 38-19-6. If you're a neutral observer of the National Hockey League, how can you not be a little bit impressed and a little bit in awe of what the Buffalo Sabres have done? It appears they're going to make the playoffs for the first time in many, many years. At 4 o'clock, the Blackhawks take on the 38-14-10 Dallas Stars. At 5 o'clock, a rematch of the 1995 Stanley Cup Finals. The Detroit Red Wings take on the New Jersey Devils. At 7 o'clock, the Blues take on the Anaheim Ducks. And at 7:30, the Edmonton Oilers have a big game on the road against the Vegas Golden Knights. So that's action across the National Hockey League as Minnesota and Colorado's shootout continues. Last I checked, there were 2 rounds through the shootouts, and it looks like Nazem Kadri's backhand shot misconnected. It looks like Kaprizov didn't score as well, so the shootout continues, and here later on we'll see who ended up getting the victory in that game. Well, the Grizzlies, after today, will be home for 12 of their final 15 games. There's a lot of fun stuff happening at Maverick Center for the rest of the regular season. Obviously, you're going to want to come on down and make some great memories over the final month of Grizzlies history. Utah's got a 3-game set against the Tulsa Oilers. Thursday, March 12th, is going to be a 7 o'clock showdown, and then Saturday, March 14th, is going to be military night. That has been a great evening over the last few years. March 15th against Tulsa is going to be a 3:10 start. From what I hear, there might actually be a bunch of weddings during the intermission portion. So if you're a person that doesn't have any friends and doesn't get invited to many weddings, I would say come on down to Maverick Center. You might see a few of them next Sunday when the Grizzlies take on the Tulsa Oilers. Then the final road trip in team history will be a 3-game set against the Indy Fuel of all teams. Friday and Saturday, March 20th and 21st will be 5 o'clock Mountain Time Zone starts, and March 22nd will be listed at 2 p.m. So March 22nd, that's the final road game in team history. And then the Grizzlies will be home for 9 straight games, highlighted by Star Wars Night on April 4th against Wichita, and Fan Appreciation Night, which is the final Saturday home game in team history. That's going to be on April 11th against Rapid City. The final regular season game in Grizzlies history will be on a Sunday afternoon on April 12th against the Rapid City Rush. Make sure to get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com, and you certainly aren't going to want to miss it, as Utah Grizzlies have been a staple in the Salt Lake Valley since the summer of 1995. And obviously the hockey landscape has really changed, and who would have thought in 1995 that the National Hockey League would be in the Salt Lake Valley? However, if you were a hockey fan in the mid-1990s and you saw just how popular the Grizzlies were in the IHL era, and if you were there at Delta Center the night the Grizzlies won the Turner Cup, completing a 4-game sweep of the Orlando Solar Bears, who incidentally enough are another team that's currently playing in this league, you're talking about not only the Grizzlies winning a championship, but they broke a single-game minor league hockey record for attendance. So I think at that point, when you realized over 16,000 fans came to the Grizzlies Turner Cup championship win against the Orlando Solar Bears, game played over at Delta Center, I think at that point you realize that if there was an ambitious billionaire that wanted an NHL team to come to the Salt Lake Valley, that the vision's there, the fan base is there, everybody would embrace it. And so there really was no surprise when in the spring of 2024, over 30,000 season ticket deposits were made to the new Utah NHL team. Demand is about as high as it can be, and participation in hockey is at an all-time high. And it's hard to really pinpoint just how much of an impact the Grizzlies have made over the last 3+ decades, especially when you consider just how much the sport has grown here over the last 2 years. But I will say that the Grizzlies did a great job over a 3-decade stretch, keeping the spirit, flame, and enthusiasm of professional hockey live and well. If you wanted to go to a pro hockey game from the mid-1990s till, I'd say, the spring of 2024 when the NHL came to town, the only place to be was at Maverick Center. And even now, with the presence of the Utah Mammoth, I mean, it's tough to get a ticket there. And because of that, I definitely think that minor league hockey, whether it's the AHL or the ECHL, they definitely belong in the Salt Lake Valley because there's so many things you can do And really just look at some of the Grizzlies games that we've gone to this season. The attendance is right there. The fan base is still there. And if a new minor league team decided to come to the Salt Lake Valley, the fan base would be here. And it'd be electric, especially if, say, the Mammoth AHL affiliate ended up in the Salt Lake Valley, played here at Maverick Center, or maybe played somewhere else in the Valley. It would have a great amount of interest. You can do some of those great minor league things like specialty jerseys, and you can take full advantage of teddy bear toss, which is certainly a big thing in both the ECHL and AHL levels. You know, you can do a lot of those fun things at a minor league level and really take advantage at a level that you can't really do in the National Hockey League. And so with that, and really with kind of the grassroots of hockey, you know, you're talking about guys pursuing their dream at both this level and the AHL level. And I think that there's something valuable in that. And I think there's something valuable in having a minor league hockey franchise here in the state of Utah, regardless of the presence of the Utah Mammoth, for many, many reasons. One of which is there's certainly a big enough fan base, and we've seen it over the last 2 years, that still will support the Utah Grizzlies, or will support in the future any minor league hockey franchise that comes into the Salt Lake Valley. So everything's real well in place, and obviously over the next month, we're going to celebrate the life and legacy, and it really is a strong legacy of Grizzlies hockey and the impact that it has had on the hockey community here over the last 30-plus seasons. But when we come back, we'll have third period action as Utah is looking for a comeback. Cincinnati leads 2-1. The difference in the game is Justin Vive, who scored in the final minute of the second period. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West, or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Game that just went final. The Avalanche get a 3-2 victory over the Minnesota Wild as Nathan MacKinnon scored the shootout game winner. Colorado 3, Minnesota 2. So the Avalanche get a shootout victory. And for Minnesota, they're right up there in the Central Division. And we had talked about how the Utah Mammoth needed to find a way to strengthen up the blue line. And even though they've had a ton of defensemen who have been outstanding in the plus-minus category, picking up Mackenzie Weegar was certainly big. So over at Heritage Bank Center, Cincinnati's got a 2-1 lead, but the Grizzlies at points looked pretty strong in that second period. Riley Connors has Utah's lone goal as he scored on a one-timer from Danny Genev, 10:27 in, and we got to find some great nicknames for Danny Genev. He's just been a magician with the puck, and he's been unbelievable all season long. Grizzlies in the third period will skate from right to left as we attempt to see the game on Flow Sports. We do ask for a little bit of patience, though, as we are at the mercy of this one-camera feed. It appears to start the third period, it's going to be Boilard and Noel up top, and a forward line of Evan Friesen with Tyler Gratton and Reed Lepster, as Friesen's going to take the draw to start the third period. Both teams are playing their third game in less than 48 hours, and both teams are going to give what they can. Both teams are looking for a victory, and for the Grizzlies are looking to clinch a winning road trip as they're 1-1 in this current three-game trip. Cincinnati looking to salvage something out of the weekend. They lost 3-2 on Friday to Toledo and were shut out 5-0 by the Grizzlies last night. As Cincinnati wins the draw, they'll throw it in. No icing on the plays. We play 10 seconds. Cyclones have outshot the Grizzlies 27-13. As a puck to the near circle, Cincinnati will drop it back to the right circle as it's taken by Boilard as Noel collided with Sam Stevens. As Boilard skates towards the far wing boards, a backhanded ahead. As puck is accepted by Utah. Friesen down the middle of the ice, lefty shot. Blocker saved by Appleby. Friesen gets the rebound in the left corner. He skates around Cincinnati's net as he gets a basketball screen from Gratton, and Cincinnati took it away. Cyclones rink-wide feed. Angle left, ricochets off the board. Cyclones are able to corral it as they'll skate towards the left corner. As Colby Enns delivers a push, puck goes up top, left point. Cincinnati fires towards the net. Kaiser slides towards his left, but the shot goes wide. As Grizzlies pitch it up and not out. Rhett Parsons across to Jake Johnson. He'll feed it towards the left goal line. As Cincinnati thought about getting it back to Johnson, but Utah took it away. Colby ends off his stick. Cincinnati right wing. Parsons, righty shot, stick save by Kaiser. As Parsons, a big 6'3", 223-pound defenseman, fired away on Kaiser. He's been impressive tonight. As Parsons races after a loose puck in the near corner of Cincinnati's zone. As they'll roll it from one corner to the other. Marco Sikic, who picked up an assist on the Vive goal late in the second period. He'll pass it back towards the Cincinnati blue line. Cyclones spread the ice. Rink-wide feed. Angle right. Goes towards Cincinnati. As they'll bounce to the middle of the ice. Cyclones all alone. Left wing. Shot hits the far post. And it's still a 2-1 game. Cincinnati came in with all sorts of momentum. Fired a pass to Kaiser, but it hit the far post. Now Cincinnati, as they looked for a cross-ice pass that misconnected. Grizzlies cross center ice, and they'll slide it in. As Mikey Colello chasing after it with Curtis Henry. But you can tell both teams running on fumes. Third game in less than 48 hours. 2 minutes into the third period, the puck deflects off a stick and goes out of play. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw for Utah. Attendance has been counted over at Heritage Bank Center. And it's a pretty typical Sunday crowd of 3,531. 35-31 over in Cincinnati. I hear the weather is actually pretty good in the Queen City this weekend, although it looked like there was maybe a little bit of rain yesterday. And obviously after the game, perfect place to walk, especially if the weather is pretty decent with the Ohio River and the bridge. Somewhere in the middle of the bridge is the Ohio-Kentucky border. Grizzlies with the puck high slot as Gratton fires lefty shot and it's blocked. Puck will trickle back towards the Utah line as Gratton runs it down. As Gratton gets back checked by Kennedy. Kennedy gets hit up high as he holds his face open for a penalty, but it's not to be had. Kennedy down the middle, lefty shot blocker saved by Kaiser. Cincinnati around Utah's net. Slides it towards the left wing. Cincinnati feeds it up top. Villiola with the lefty shot. And that's blocked as the puck rolls along the boards. Now it's taken by Utah. As the Grizzlies looking for some momentum as Andrew Noel crosses center ice. The former Cyclone fires it in. He collides with Kennedy. As Kennedy hit Noel as he was skating towards the net. As Luke Manning back around. Grizzlies towards the right corner. As they get to Mike Gillette behind the net, who gets some lumber in the back from Aaron Sherratt. Cincinnati's got one of the bigger defensive units we'll see in the league. As puck goes back to center ice, just about all the Cincinnati defensemen are 6'2" or taller. Grizzlies get to the right circle as the puck ricochets off a stick or two. Antti Bukata over Yevdokimov. He fires it wide. John Gillette back towards Mike Gillette, his brother, off his stick. Now right wing, righty shot, and that one goes wide as Utah fired on a tough angle into traffic. Yevdokimov back behind the net to Mike Gillette, who will slide it back up top. Ends to Hanson Bukata, left wing. AHB gets towards Yevdokimov. A Grizzly gets cross-checked in the back in front of the net. And play stops with 16:32 left in the third. Grizzlies haven't had a power play yet, and I'm not sure we're going to get one as neither referee, at least of the officials that we saw on the screen, raised their arm. As looked like a Grizzly got hit pretty hard as they were trying to get the puck there as they were in front of Ken Appleby. So it's going to be another offensive zone face-off for Utah as we're going to skate 5-on-5 as there's 16 minutes and 32 seconds left in regulation. Well, Cincinnati's done a great job being disciplined to stay out of the penalty box. You know, the Cyclones, the penalty kill has been a weak spot of their club, and the Grizzlies' power play has been outstanding. 21 power play goals in 20 games, 2 for 4 last night. Cyclones skate around Colby Enns, as Enns does a good job cutting off any angle, whether it's a shooting angle or a passing angle on a Cyclone. But the Grizzlies haven't had a power play yet here this afternoon, and that can certainly be a big advantage to them considering how good their power play's been and really Cincinnati, how much their penalty kill struggled. Grizzlies get to end just outside the left circle. He fires a righty shot, and it goes wide as Gratton was in front of the net looking for a redirection as Appleby was kind of spinning around from his left to his right. Grizzlies back in their own zone as we played 4 minutes in this third period. As Reed Lebster will outlet it, and it goes all the way down. Cincinnati runs it down as taken by Aaron Bollinger, who's got an ECHL contract with Cincinnati, but he's been pretty impressive today. Villio feeds it to his left. Cyclones enter with momentum. Cincinnati around Utah's net towards the near side. Cyclones get pushed in the right point. Good defensive play by Luke Salem. Taking a Danny Genev. The magician over the offensive line. Skates towards his right. Now Genev, he'll take a lefty shot. And looks like Appleby made the stop as he makes a glove save with 15:25 left in the third. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw as Danny Genev created a scoring chance out of virtually nothing. But the play really started with Luke Salem muscling a Cincinnati player in the right point. And then Genev got the puck and did his thing. So after today, only 3 road games left in the regular season, and that's going to be a couple weeks from now as the Grizzlies will take on the Indy Fuel. Connors will take the draw, but this time it's won by Fontaine and the Cyclones. And Cincinnati will get it ahead. Puck ricochets off the stick at center ice. They were trying to get it towards Curtis Henry. Now Grizzlies back in their own zone, get it to Connors at center ice. Connors has good speed. Crosses center ice. He'll flip it to his right as he was looking for a Grizzly as Utah spins around. Now Grizzly right wing, lefty shot, saved by Appleby. And he will hold on with 15:02 left in the third. And it looked like Rhett Parsons trying to bully Mikey Colella. And of course, somebody would probably say, maybe pick on somebody your own size. Colella's a tough guy, but Parsons just trying to think that he can bully Mikey Colella, but Colella holding his ground. We saw yesterday Justin Vive kind of clothesline Colella by the neck as he was really giving Colella the business yesterday. Shot was taken from the right side, and save was made by Appleby, and then Colella and Parsons stared each other down after the whistle. So faceoffs can be in the right circle as Luke Manning will take the draw, but this time it's won by Cincinnati. Cyclones will chip it out towards center ice. It was overled for Curtis Henry. Now the Cyclones over the offensive zone. Grizzlies back defensively. Utah's been sound defensively all weekend. Parsons right wing, righty shot. Glove save by Kaiser. That one looked like it was going to end up wide anyway, whether Kaiser gloved it or not. Some off-ice officials will still count it as a shot on goal. Some of them won't. As there's 14:47 left in regulation. Cincinnati's up to 30 shots, and Kaiser, on his 27th birthday, has saved 28 of them. So faceoffs in the right circle. And it's won by Cincinnati. Always Cyclones have won quite a few faceoffs here in the third period. It's 2-1 Cincinnati. Noel, he tried to light up a Cyclone with a good shoulder check, but Noel got more boards and glass than he did Cyclone. As puck to the right corner, Grizzlies tap it ahead. They were looking for Friesen, but it's taken by Sean Kennedy. Over to the left wing, Cincinnati centers out in front, and the pass misconnected. As Grizzlies come back the other way, Friesen tried to move it across towards Barbashev. Puck just kind of bounces. Barbashev was battling for the puck at the same time as a Cyclone, and Barbashev will throw it back into his own zone. Colbiens will stride out to neutral ice, and he'll chip it in. As Friesen back towards ends, he'll take a righty shot. And that one goes wide as he tried to go glove side on Appleby, and he skated in with plenty of momentum, but just couldn't find a way to get to the net. As we played 6 minutes of this third period, Cincinnati still leads 2-1. Puck deflects out of play. Is it going to be delay of game? As not really sure. It might have gotten redirected by a Utah stick. 13:55 is the time remaining in the third period, and the Cyclones still lead the Grizzlies 2-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
13 minutes and 55 seconds left in the third period. Cincinnati leads 2-1. Somebody pull the fire alarm again here at Maverick Center. The draw is going to be in the Cincinnati zone. John Gillette will take the draw. He's got his brother Mike to his left, and you have Yevdokimov has been on that forward line all evening. As linesman drops the puck, but they say, my bad, we'll do it over again. Utah's looking for the tying goal. It's been kind of an odd mix in terms of whether the Grizzlies get it rolling offensively in a particular game. As Utah, as we've seen, they can score in bunches at times. Obviously, it's a pretty tough third game in 3 days, and, with really no rest and some travel between the first and second game. Grizzlies have the puck as Mike Gillette will skate towards the right corner. Gillette, the former Peoria Riverman, stops. He's got Yevdokimov nearby. Now Cincinnati takes it away. Cyclones will flip it out to center ice, and the puck ricochets off the boards. And Cincinnati gets in front of Hanson Bukata and fires a shot that goes wide as Hanson Bukata was on the back check. Now a Cyclone falls down on their own. Well, you could tell the fatigue is really settling in on both sides as both clubs are giving everything they have, but how much petro do they really have? As Gillette skates over the offensive line and he gets knocked down. Normally, if it wasn't a third game in 3 days, Mike Gillette would probably kind of muscle his way through the Cyclone. The ice surface appears to be a little bit choppy here so far as Hanson Bukata skates towards his bench area and slides it across to Ends. Ends outlets to center ice, but it misses Reed Lepster on to Sam Stevens. Problem, plays for Cincinnati. Out towards center ice, off a stick as they're looking to get it towards Ryan Kerwin. Puck goes deep into the Grizzly zone. Kaiser, who didn't play last night, as he'll roll it along towards Gratton, as Gratton was battling with number 20, Aaron Bollinger, as Hunter Miska had a 32-save shutout last night. In fact, both goaltenders are as fresh as anybody on the ice. Reed Lepster gets after a loose puck. Filio gets there about the same time and yanks it away from him across towards Bollinger as he ricochets it off the boards. Now Evan Friesen gets the puck, but on a back check, it's poked away by Cincinnati. As Riom, he collides with the Grizzly and Tyler Gratton. Friesen enters from the right wing as Friesen trying to power his way around Bollinger, and the puck goes back to center ice and beyond as Grizzlies race after it. And you could tell Luke Salem, who's normally a fast skater, just took him a little bit longer to get to that loose puck. As Grizzlies around their own nets, as these finely tuned athletes are about as good as it gets, but it's certainly a tough circumstance, third game in less than 48 hours. And that's the case for both clubs. Both teams had to travel after Friday's game. As Cincinnati crosses center ice, less than 12 minutes left in regulation. Cyclones trying to break free, but the Grizzlies come up with it. As Boidlar, he'll backhand it ahead. Which player's got that extra energy to create a scoring chance? We know Genev certainly is capable of doing that. He's on the ice right now. He did it on a couple occasions. Genev lets it go as Colella chases after it. Now it's Cincinnati that pushes it ahead. And these are the type of games where you may use your third and fourth forward lines a little bit more. And with that being in mind, those guys are probably going to provide a little bit more energy as the puck deflects from neutral ice out of play as there's 11:19 left in the third. A situation like this, having some extra players would certainly help, as the Cyclones were able to filter a couple players on and off based on what happened in last night's game, as Jordan Kaplan and Spencer Cox were in there for Cincinnati yesterday, and they're not in there. So the Cyclones have two fresh bodies this evening, as the officials trying to figure out where the faceoff's going to be, and it's going to be near dot just outside the Utah blue line. But for the Grizzlies, not traveling any extra players. I mean, what they traveled is really what they got. And with Timo Feyev missing the last two games, Grizzlies are short one forward. And Cincinnati fires it in, and no fresh reinforcements outside of getting a different goaltender in there. Hanson Bukata gets hit in the near corner. Grizzlies will back into the head. Ends, rink wide feed, angle left, tape to Colella. He gets tripped up, and a penalty is going to be called as Cincinnati touches it up. This might be what the Grizzlies need to tie it up, as Rhett Parsons can't believe it. As Mikey Colella was racing along the left wing, Parsons tripped him up. And we talked about the Grizzlies' strong power play, and in particular Cincinnati's penalty kill that struggled at times. This could be the golden opportunity for the Grizzlies to tie it up right here. Utah's going to get a 2-minute power play as Rhett Parsons gets called for tripping. 8:58 into the third period. So we'll see if the Grizzlies can get something done. They've got 21 power play goals in their last 20 games. So far this season, they're 22.4%. Watch out for Tyler Gratton. He leads Utah with 10 power play goals. Genev has 19 power play assists, and Hanson Bukata has 18 on the year. Also watch out for Reed Lepster. He's got 6 power play goals this year, and Evan Friesen, who's taken the face-off, he's been hot on Utah's power play. He's got a power play goal in 3 of his last 5. Utah wins the draw. They trail 2-1 halfway through the third period. Genev in the right wing. as he gets up top to Lebster. He'll move to his left. Lebster back to Geneva, who's in the right circle. He'll slide it up top to Hanson Bukata. He fires lefty shot, saved by Appleby. Cincinnati gets it, and they clear it all the way out. As Kaiser plays behind his net, he'll drop it for Hanson Bukata. 30 seconds into Utah's power play. HB will move it to his right for Grattan. Grattan accelerates around to Cyclone. Now Curtis Henry gets it. He's being shadowed by AHB and Grattan as the Cyclones' Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine clears it out. As puck goes deep into the Grizzly zone, Kaiser cuts it off, and he'll drop it for Genev, who skates around Utah's net. As Genev will lay it as the Grizzlies will race along to neutral ice. Lebster gets towards center ice. He'll tap it to his left. Now back to Lebster. He's in the left corner. Lebster cycles it around. Grattan in the right corner gets it. As Grattan, the Grizzlies captain, second-year pro, feeds it up top. Now it goes back to Grattan as he'll skate towards the right point, drops it off. Now it goes to the right wing. Genev gets it. Dangling back and forth over to Lebster on the left wing. He fires a righty shot and it goes wide. He was looking for Grattan to redirect it. Hanson Bukata over toward Genev as Grattan gets cross-checked in the back by goaltender Appleby. Now Genev right wing skates in, try to move it across to Lebster. Lebster gets it off a Cincinnati stick. 30 seconds left in the power play. AHB to Genev. He's in the right circle, dangling back and forth. Tried to move it to Friesen in the middle of the ice. Cincinnati took it away. Now it's back up top. Hanson Bukata fires lefty shot, saved by Appleby. Rebound goes to Genev. 20 seconds left in the power play. Up top to AHB over to Lebster. One-timer, and that goes wide. He was looking for Grattan to redirect it. Genev right side. His shot's blocked. And the Cyclones, they clear it out. Grizzlies will switch up skaters. And you wonder how much Petro that top power play unit's going to get as Utah makes a change. That was a 1:50 shift here late in the third period. As coming out of the box is Cincinnati's Rhett Parsons. Utah's 0 for 1 on the power play. And that was a golden opportunity, and the Grizzlies had their chances but couldn't capitalize. Salem fires to the net, he scores! Grizzlies tied up. Salem fired a prayer to the net, and it looks like it's Luke Salem getting his second of the year. So how about that? It wasn't the power play that got it done, but it was Luke Salem. He was out in the left point. There was Manning in front. Riley Connors was hanging out in the left circle. And not sure if it got redirected by Connors or Manning. But Manning just occupied just enough of a screen for Luke Salem to tie it up. And just like that, with 8:48 left in the third, it's a brand new hockey game. It wasn't the power play, but it was the Grizzlies generating some offense for 2 minutes and having that offensive mentality. That got Utah some offensive zone time. And even though it's not a power play goal, might have contributed to Utah tying it up. Now right wing, lefty shot saved by Kaiser. That shot was taken by Ryan Kerwin, who's got 21 goals this season. Luke Salem and company ties it up at 2 as the Grizzlies are looking to complete a 2-game weekend sweep in the Queen City. It's Utah 2, Cincinnati 2 with 8.5 minutes left in the third period. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Luke Salem scored his second of the year with the assist going to Riley Connors and Dylan Grattan. More hockey in a moment.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
It's anybody's game over at Heritage Bank Center as the Grizzlies and Cyclones are tied at 2. Luke Salem scored his second of the year, 11-12 into the third period. Dylan Grattan and Riley Connors with the assist. And for Grattan, he now has an assist in 3 of his first 6 games as a professional. And Connors now has a multiple-point game with 1 goal and 1 assist as he has contributed to both of Utah's goals. Luke Manning did a good job just kind of cutting in front of Appleby, and even though he didn't get any points, he might have contributed as well. So he certainly gets a plus on the play. Utah didn't score on that power play, but it was the offensive zone time that was generated with that power play that probably led to the tying goal. As Grattan gets the puck, he'll moving out to center ice. Dylan, that is, as Barbashev over the offensive line, as he'll skate towards his right. Now Barbashev, high slide, he'll take a lefty shot, and it's blocked as there's a little bit more than 8 minutes left in regulation as Andrew Noel rolls along the boards. And you know both teams are tired, but both can see a win on their mind. For the Grizzlies, you have to wonder, that top power play unit did have a 1:50 shift. You hope that they've got a little bit more in the tank here later on in the third period. John Gillette moves it ahead as he tried to get towards Manning. Now Gillette loses his balance once again as he was skating towards the offensive zone. And you could just tell the fatigue that both teams have after really a long weekend of hockey. So I believe the Grizzlies are called for offside. That's there's 7:48 left in the third. As both teams looking to really, for Cincinnati, they're looking to get something out of the weekend after 2 regulation losses, both on Friday and Saturday night. And for the Grizzlies, they're looking for a winning road trip. Utah's played the most road games of any team in the league, and they've been a successful road club. They've got a record of 16, 13, and 3, as draw 1 by Cincinnati. Grizzlies up to 22 shots. Cincinnati has taken 31. Utah's outshot Cincinnati 9-4 in this third period. Cyclones back in their own zone as Vilio gets pushed by John Gillette. As Gillette loses his stick, he picks it back up. Now the puck goes back towards Cincinnati ice as Kaiser plays it in front of the crease. They'll nudge it across towards Noel. Andrew Noel, the former Cincinnati Cyclone. He was acquired by Utah in a trade about 3 weeks ago for the rights to Christian Felton. Felton actually played in 3 games with Cincinnati, but he's back up in the AHL with the Abbotsford Canucks. Noel, he fires it rink wide as he was trying to get to either Friesen or Gratton. It goes deeper into the Cincinnati zone. Lepser chases after it. Friesen over in the right corners. It's anybody's game with 7 minutes left in the third. As puck goes to the left wing, as Hanson Bukata fires it off of, is that going to be a penalty on AHP? Oh, AHP fired it off of Bernier, and then Bernier was skating towards neutral ice. Hanson Bukata tripped him up, and he doesn't even argue the call as he goes to the box for 2 minutes. As AHB gets a tripping minor, as he fired away from the left wing, and then as Bernier was skating towards neutral ice with the puck, and he knew that with nobody behind him, that Bernier would have started an odd man break. Hanson Bukata, just with the reactionary move, tripped up Bernier, and the call was made. So Cincinnati goes on the power play for the second time this afternoon. And AHB didn't even argue it. He knew what he did, and the replay that they showed right next to the bench area pretty much confirmed it. So we're tied at 2. Cincinnati gets their second power play of the game. They've got one of the better power play units in the league, as they'll throw it across to Ryan Kerwin. Now up top, now back to Kerwin in the right circle. He fires lefty shot, and that one misses wide. Kerwin, the Penn State and Arizona State product, which are the same 2 colleges that Tyler Gratton went to, but they were never a teammate at ASU that were teammates at Penn State. Kerwin throws it out in front into traffic. Grizzlies get it, and they pick it off, and they'll clear it all the way out. As Appleby cuts it off behind his net. Cincinnati still in their own zone, skating from left to right. Grizzlies build the wall at their blue line. Cincinnati enters. They try to split a double team, but the puck goes up top to Kerwin. As he's over in the right circle, he fires towards the net, and it's blocked. Kerwin gets it back. Ryan Kerwin dangling back and forth. He's wearing number 45. Feeds it up top to Johnson. Now back to Kerwin, who will get to the right goal line. As Kerwin switches places with Rayom. Now Kerwin trying to get back to Rayom. And it's picked off by Barbashev, who ricocheted the puck off Rayom out of play. And so no delay of game. And Barbashev made sure to let the officials know it hit off him. Otherwise, it would have been a 5-on-3 power play, but the puck goes out of play. Next faceoff will be in the Grizzlies zone, and both teams will switch up skaters. Luke Salem, who tied it up, he's talking with Kyle Kaiser. As Salem picked up the game-tying goal, 11-12 into the third period. Salem will take the draw, which sometimes Grizzly defensemen will take defense's own draws on penalty kills. Utah doesn't win many of those particular faceoffs, but both teams jostle for position. The Grizzlies will clear it out to center ice. As Cincinnati still back deep in their own zone. Now they'll move it out to center ice in the left wing. Cyclones over the offensive line as they stop before they get to the corner. Reed Lepser takes it away, and he'll clear it out. Usually when you're as fatigued as both teams are, you're probably thinking about, as a Cincinnati Cyclone player falls down. It's games like this where, the old coaching cliche is about keeping things simple. In a game like this, players probably adhere to that a little bit more. Just keep things simple and don't try to do too much. Cincinnati crosses center ice And that's Bollinger's got good speed. Skates down the middle, moves to his right. And Grizzlies get it, and they'll clear it out. Less than 10 seconds left in the Cincinnati power play. Less than 5 minutes left in regulation. And we're tied at 2. As Elijah Villio does a half circle in the near corner of his own zone. Now he dangles back and forth out to center ice. Villio keeps his head up. He'll guide it towards his right. As the Cyclones, right wing, they'll take a lefty shot, and it's blocked. Coming out of the box is Aiden Hansen-Bukata. As Cincinnati throws it back in. Grizzlies towards the near corner. As Noel gets hit, he gets dragged by a Cyclone. Now Boilard delivers a hit in the corner. As Noel nearby, Cincinnati slides it up top. Right point, Parsons, righty shot blocker saved by Kaiser. Puck stays in play as it kind of twirls in the air near the left circle. 4:18 on a moving clock. We're tied at 2. As Boilard and Noel try to break free of the puck. Now the Grizzlies get and they skate around Kaiser's net. Ahead towards Hansen-Bukata. And on Kaiser's 27th birthday, obviously the Grizzlies are hoping to get a victory for him. Utah, rink-wide feed, angle right. And that one goes wide all the way down deep into the Cincinnati zone, but it got redirected. Snow icing as Kallela gets double-teamed along the near wing boards and taking it away as Bollinger as he'll guide it towards his left. Cyclones across center ice as Cincinnati loses their balance, wanting a penalty. Puck to the right corner as Kerwin engulfs a Grizzly. As Luke Salem make that Luke Manning trying to hold his ground. And Salem as well, the two Lukes. They'll be using the force on Star Wars night on April 4th against the Wichita Thunder. Ahead, it's overled for Colello, couldn't reach it. Left wing, shot, and Kaiser went in the butterfly, but I'm not sure the puck ever got to him. Genev left wing over the offensive line, had to play soccer for a little bit. No offside, but Cincinnati will drag the puck out to center ice. Now the puck's back in the Cincinnati zone as somebody from off the screen dumped it in. As Bollinger, he fires a rink-wide pass that goes wide as John Gillette enters from the right wing. As Gillette skates towards the middle of the ice to take a lefty shot that goes wide as he missed the net stick side but didn't miss it much on Appleby. Less than 3 minutes left in regulation as Grizzlies have the puck in the offensive zone. Ends throws it behind the net. Utah tried to curl it out in front and the Cyclone got a stick in the way. Mike Gillette dancing around as they get it up top. Ends right wing. He'll take a righty shot. And Appleby makes the stop. Looked like for a couple seconds everybody's trying to locate the puck. But the play stops, and the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw when we come back. 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the third period, and it's anybody's game as we're tied at 2. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
It's anybody's game as we're tied at 2 with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in regulation. Cincinnati's outshot Utah 33-23. Danny Genev leads Utah with 5 shots on goal. It's the 45th time this season Genev has played a game where he has taken 3 or more shots. Friesen will take the drives out there with Gratton and Lebster. Gratton gets the puck down the middle of the ice. He fires lefty shot, and that one misses high and wide on Appleby. Tyler Gratton's had an outstanding weekend. As Lebster cycles it back around to Gratton behind Cincinnati's net, shovels it out to Friesen. Shot saved by Appleby. Rebound goes wide on the second attempt. As Grizzlies' Colby Enns fires towards the net and hits the outside of the cage. As Tyler Gratton tried to backhand it across to Hansen-Bukata, but it ricocheted off a Cincinnati skate. Puck goes back to neutral ice. Colby Enns enters from the right wing. He fires a righty shot, saved by Appleby in the butterfly position, and he holds on as there's 2:09 left in the third. But a good shift by the Grizzlies. Top unit of Gratton, Lebster, and Friesen with the defensive pairing of Enns and Hansen-Bukata as they were able to maintain quite a bit of offensive zone time. So Grizzlies right now have Cincinnati on their heels, and even though everybody's running on fumes right now, you're talking about seeing the finish line, and for the Grizzlies, seeing an opportunity for a victory. Looks like Riley Connors will take the draw. He's got Yevdokimov to his left and Genev to his right. And up top is Luke Salem, who tied it up 11-12 into the third period, and Dylan Gratton, who picked up an assist on the Salem goal. As Cincinnati wins the draw, they escape from left to right. They're moving out to center ice. Sikic throws it in. Dylan Gratton strides after it with Sikic. Sikic gets there before Gratton and feeds it towards the right corner. Now up top to Bollinger, who will slice it towards his left. Now drops it to his right as he was skating towards his right. Now Cincinnati at the right goal line. They fire a lefty shot saved by Kaiser as a ricochet off his left shoulder. Kaiser open for a victory on his 27th birthday. Cincinnati in the left wing. They'll bounce off the Grizzlies. The puck goes back to center ice. Now the puck slides into the Cincinnati zone where it's run down by Gunnar Wolf Fontaine. Fontaine with an AHL contract with the Marlies. As they'll get it to the right side, puck will trickle near the Grizzlies bench. Cincinnati will backhand it in. A minute and a half left in the third period as Kaiser drops it off for Andrew Noel. As his rink-wide feed angle left goes to John Gillette. Gillette drops it, or he fake dropping it towards Barbashev. Gillette will then fire it off to Cincinnati's backboard. Utah gets it up top. Left wing. Lefty shot by Boilar misses wide. As there's about a minute left in regulation. Still tied at 2. As Barbashev, he gets hit in the back. A Cyclone holding his face as if he were hit with a high stick. And puck is shoveled. Is it going to be called? Didn't see the arm raised by a referee. As Sam Stevens holding his face. There's 56.7 seconds left in the third period. Is it going to be a Cincinnati power play? Stevens looking around. Luke Manning talking it over with Parsons and Rayom. I'm not sure if a penalty was called or not, though. As play had stopped once the puck was cleared towards neutral ice. As maybe they'll show a replay. Stevens was in the area. And Barbashev was in the area. And Barbashev, it appeared to have delivered a Karl Malone elbow. I think Stevens might have been trying to act it out a little bit, though there might have been contact. Stevens, obviously, with the emotions he's given with his face, doesn't believe he was acting anything out. It doesn't look like a penalty was called on the play, though, as we're still tied at 2 with 56.7 seconds left. As the camera showcases Stevens on the bench. Unless there was a penalty, but based on what we've seen here on the video feed, we're skating 5-on-5. So draw's going to be at center ice, and it's won by Cincinnati. The Cyclones get to center ice, and Jake Johnson rolls it in as Cincinnati spins the puck along the roulette wheel, as Gratton in the area along with Hanson Mukata, as Cincinnati gets it back deep behind Utah's net. As Colbiens races after a loose puck, he'll get to Hanson Mukata. 38 seconds left, centering it to Friesen. Now up top as Lepster crosses center ice. Lepster throws it deep into the Cyclone zone as Friesen in the area with Lepster. 26 seconds left as the puck is looped ahead towards the Utah blue line. Taken by Sean Kennedy. He'll drop it off. Hanson Mukata will one-handed ahead to center ice. Gratton gets the puck. 15 seconds left. Do the Grizzlies have a miracle in them? As Gratton fires it wide. Lepster right wing as he gets double-teamed. Lepster trying to muscle the puck to the right corner. And it flips up top. Salem keeps it in to the right point. He'll get it in with 3 seconds left. As Friesen trying to take it away on the back check. Puck slides in the middle of the ice. Ricochets towards Appleby, and time runs out. As both teams will get a standing point tonight as we head to overtime, tied at 2. And the Grizzlies earn the standing point because of Luke Salem's game-tying goal that was scored 11-12 in. If you joined us late, Cincinnati had a 1-0 lead when Luke Granger scored 2:10 into the contest. Grizzlies tied it up on a one-timer from the left circle by Riley Connors, 10:27 in. Cincinnati took a 2-1 lead as Justin Vive, the all-time leader in Cyclones and points and many other categories. He scored 19-17 in. Cincinnati led 2-1 after 2 periods. Luke Salem scored a second of the year from the left point, with Dylan Gratton and Riley Connors getting the assists. In the third period, the Grizzlies had an 11-7 advantage in the shot count. So both teams get a standing point tonight. We know the Grizzlies have had their issues past regulation. Utah does have 2 overtime wins this season. The Grizzlies are 2-0-7. That's the official record past regulation. Obviously, the basic win-loss record is 2-7 in overtime. As both teams talking it over, and really, if you're the Grizzlies, you think about maybe Aiden Hanson-Bukata, Luke Salem, some of those defensemen that can contribute. And obviously, you're looking at your big guns, Lepster and Barbashev each have an overtime game winner, as Maxim Barbashev on New Year's Eve got a win against Wichita. Then on February 20th, it was Reed Lepster that got an overtime game winner on a feed from Tyler Gratton. So in overtime, Cincinnati's got a record of 10-3. So the Cyclones are a pretty good team in overtime this year. They're 10-3 in OT and 4-2 at home. The Grizzlies haven't had nearly as much success past regulation, but we'll see what happens as they put 7 minutes on the scoreboard clock. Grizzlies, at the very least, will have 3 out of 6 standings points in the series, but Utah's looking for 4 out of 6. Connors is out there with Genev and Hanson Bukata. That's the 3-man unit for Utah, as Connors will take the draw against Sam Stevens. Cincinnati skating from right to left as the puck goes back towards Ken Appleby. Cyclones in control of the puck. Utah from left to right. Cincinnati back deep in their own zone as the Cyclones will move it towards their left. As Rayon gets around one Grizzly, make that Stevens. Stevens skates in. Siren pass deflects off the stick. As Cincinnati back towards the left point. They get it up top, and they voluntarily will skate the puck back towards Cincinnati's blue line. Now accelerating is Fontaine as he'll move towards his right. Fontaine, he fires lefty shot. It gets redirected. While Kaiser collided with his teammate, loses his balance, gets back to his feet. And now the puck is cleared back into Cincinnati ice. Filio runs it down as the Cyclones race across center ice. Cincinnati 10-3 in overtime this season. Filio lefty shot, saved by Kaiser as it looked like he was kind of bouncing the puck off his pad. Now taking it, Danny Genev. He'll race along the right wing as Genev will skate towards his left to the end of his shift. As Genev, after a 1-minute shift, he stays on the ice, keeps control of the puck. Genev over the offensive line. He'll chip it out in front. Grizzlies have a tap off their stick as Salem gets pushed towards the boards. Genev comes off after a minute and 12-second shift. Puck slides back to neutralize. Barbashev runs it down. He gets there about the same time as the Cyclone. Utah's in control. Taking the puck is Luke Manning. He accelerates around one Cyclone. Now Manning, he'll drop it off. Grizzlies with a lefty shot. Saved by Appleby. He holds on and stops play with 5:33 left in overtime. But a great play by Luke Manning. Skated into the offensive zone, got to the middle of the ice, found Barbashev with the momentum. And Manning teed it up for Barbashev, who's already got an overtime game winner this year. Barbashev fired it low. And you can see on Flow Sports just what a big goaltender Ken Appleby is. He takes up a lot of the net. Appleby closed the 5-hole to stop play. Manning's out there with Barbashev. Taking the face-off for Cincinnati's Nick Riom. As a draw won by Cincinnati, as Colby ends the defenseman out there for Utah on this particular shift. 5.5 minutes left in overtime. We're tied at 2. Cincinnati skates in. Now they drop it to the right point. Cyclones skate towards the middle of the ice. Lefty shot. That goes wide. That shot was taken by Riom. Behind Utah's net, it's taken by Luke Manning. As he'll drop it off for Colby ends behind Kaiser's net. Can the Grizzlies get a victory on Kyle Kaiser's 27th birthday? Ends very patient with his approach as he's sporting a beard behind Kyle Kaiser. As Ends fakes it to Lepster, skates to the middle of the ice. He'll lay it for Reed Lepster, who drags the puck out to center ice, across the center red line. Lepster over the offensive blue, skates towards the left circle. Lepster accelerates around Cincinnati's net. As Lepster's now on the right point, he fakes it to Gratton and drops for Colby Ends. Grizzlies will back it out to neutral ice. As Lepster re-enters from the right wing, dangling back and forth. Lepster 29 goals this season, including 5 game winners. As he'll drop it for Gratton. Tyler Gratton, he's down the middle of the ice. He'll bounce off the Cincinnati stick. Gratton gets it back and neutralized. Now he accelerates back in. Tyler Gratton, the Grizzlies captain. Toe drag, lefty shot. That goes wide, glove side on Appleby. As Reed Lepster back towards the right corner. As he gets pinned to the boards, and Cincinnati gets the puck. 4:15 and a moving clock here in overtime. Cincinnati will race out to neutralize. Grizzlies back defensively. Cincinnati veers off to the left as they get around one skater. Now Cincinnati towards the left wing. They fire a righty shot. Saved by Kaiser. And he holds on in the butterfly to stop play with 4:02 left in overtime. So a battle of good goaltenders. Appleby on the Cincinnati side and Kyle Kaiser for Utah. This looks like Friesen will exit. Or they tried to make a quick line change, and the official said no. So it's going to be Friesen out there. It looked like Connors was going to enter, but Friesen's going to stay out there with Danny Genev. Draw one by Friesen. Good thing he stayed out there. As Hanson Bukata is behind Kyle Kaiser's net. AHB, 33 assists this season. He'll drop it for Genev. Danny Genev, the first-year pro out of Penn State, skates down the middle of the ice. He veers to his right. Now Genev's in the right circle as he quickly got in the attack zone. And now Genev will skate back into his blue line as Genev now skates around one Cyclone, fires it off the boards, gets it back. Genev skates towards the left corner. He's running circles around Cincinnati. Friesen in the area as he's over in the left point. He tried to knife it ahead towards Hanson Buchanan. Now Cincinnati down the middle of the ice. They've got a breakaway. Cyclone skate in. Kerwin with a shot. Saved by Kaiser as he sprawled towards his right and made a great A save. And the Grizzlies continue as they'll cross center ice. Friesen over the offensive line. Drops for Hanson Buchanan. Over to Manning. Right side. He'll take a lefty shot. Save. Rebound goes back to Manning. He's behind Cincinnati's net. Feeds it to Friesen. Lefty shot. And that's blocked. As Cincinnati's got a breakaway. All alone down the middle of the ice is Fontaine. He'll dangle back and forth. Back in. Shot. And he missed the net. As we play on. Puck trickles back to neutral ice in control of Cincinnati. As Vilio skates towards the right wing, but the Cyclones are offside. Boy, Cincinnati was all alone. Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine had a breakaway, put together a good move on Kaiser, and missed the net on a backhand shot to keep the game alive as we're tied at 2 with 2:51 left in overtime. Cincinnati was called for offside, which you rarely see in an overtime situation. So faceoffs can be at neutral ice, and both teams have put together a pretty good effort, considering the circumstances. Sam Stevens in overtime will take the draw against Riley Connors. Connors has 1 goal and 1 assist tonight, the reigning league rookie of the month. Face-off won by Connors and the Grizzlies. As it's Salem, Connors, and Barbashev. That's the 3-man unit on the ice. Connors skates around Utah's net. Skates in the middle of the ice, keeping his head up. Crosses center ice. Tried to get around one Cyclone, but Cincinnati took it away. 2.5 minutes left in overtime. Cyclones in control of the puck as they dangle back and forth. Cyclones get it to the left wing. Sam Stevens crosses center ice. Gets around Barbashev, tries to split a double team. Fires it on to Kaiser, sticks it away. And the puck goes back to neutral ice. Elijah Vilio with the puck. He's back in his own zone. As Vilio will slide it towards his right. The Grizzlies have not played a game in a shootout yet this season. Would be fun to see one. But we got 2 minutes left of hockey here in overtime. Maybe the Grizzlies can find a way to get the winning goal. Cincinnati 10-3 in overtime this season. Skates towards the right corner. Now they backhanded up top, and nobody was hanging out in the far point. As Appleby will play it to the side of his net, and he'll drop it off. As Cincinnati racing towards neutral ice. As the Cyclones back towards center ice, they'll feed it towards Rayom, left wing. He'll skate around Utah's net. As Rayom collides with Colby Enns, Grattan in the area along with Lebster. As Enns pins Rayom to the boards. As Rayom trying to break free, he skates towards the right side. Lebster took it away. 1.5 minutes left in overtime. As Reed Lebster dancing back and forth in his own zone, does a bit of a half circle. And now he accelerates towards neutral ice. As neither team's played in a shootout this year. Ends down the middle of the ice. They'll take a righty shot. Saved by Appleby. And he will hold on with 1:15 left in overtime. So it'll be an offensive zone draw for Utah. For Cincinnati, they've played 13 games past regulation. Today's the 14th. All 13 of them, according to their notes, have been decided in overtime. For the Grizzlies, it's their 10th game past regulation. And the previous 9 have all been decided in overtime. But we're 1:15 away from a shootout. As Genev's on the ice for Utah, he's out there with Evan Friesen. Can't see the defenseman that's out there. As Friesen will take the draw against Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine. Both guys wear number 11. Face-off won by Cincinnati. They'll skate around their net. As Vilio being challenged by Friesen. Cincinnati slides it from one corner to the other. Genev gets the puck, and he'll throw it back to Utah ice. Aiden Hanson Buchanan is the lone defenseman that's out there. Kaiser thinking about an outlet pass, and he backhands it ahead to neutral ice for Genev. Less than a minute left in overtime. Genev down the middle of the ice. He'll take a lefty shot. Glove saved by Appleby, and Appleby outlets it himself, but the Cyclones will throw it back towards Appleby. 45 seconds left in overtime as Vilio dancing around. He's wearing number 33. Luke Manning replaces Genev as the Cyclones skate down the middle of the ice. Righty shot goes wide as Kaiser came out of his crease to cut off the shooting angle. Cincinnati dancing back and forth. Sikic will feed it to the right corner. Cyclones to the right circle. They fire a lefty shot. And that one's saved by Kaiser. Rebound out in front. Kaiser doesn't know where it is. 20 seconds left. Puck goes to Utah. As Genev will drop it off. Do the Grizzlies have one final shot in them? As Tyler Grattan, the Grizzlies captain, as he's deep in his own zone, 10 seconds left. Up ahead to Lebster. as Lepster skates towards the left wing. 5 seconds left in overtime, gets around to Cyclone. Chips it out in front to Gratton, who can't get a shot off. Now Lepster at the buzzer. He fires the righty shot, and that one's blocked away, and we go to a shootout. First shootout for both teams this season, as neither team could find the back of the net in the 7-minute overtime session. But both clubs had their chances, but both Kyle Kaiser for the Grizzlies and Ken Appleby were strong in net. Utah outshot Cincinnati 5-3 in overtime. So it's uncharted territory for both clubs. Neither team has been in a shootout yet this season. So really a lot of unknowns there. Obviously, Kyle Kaiser with a little bit extra motivation. You know he's going to be happy with his 27th birthday, but, you know, he'd love to celebrate with a win. And, you know, the game is going to be really determined by that one-on-one battle between the skater and the goaltender. And so since neither team's been in a shootout, we really don't know, you know, who are the guys you get out there. And obviously, if you're Utah, you're thinking about the typical guys like Genev and Lepster and guys like that. You know, for Cincinnati, they haven't been in a shootout yet this year themselves. So really, you know, it just depends on how much practice both teams had in a shootout and how much they've worked on it, you know, towards the end of practices, things of that regard. And with not a whole lot of familiarity between the clubs, you know, how much of the tendencies do goaltenders like Kaiser and Appleby know about their respective opponents? So it'd be interesting, you know, the strategy of who goes first in the 3-round shootout. But it's been a pretty good game here in the Sunday afternoon. Looks like the Grizzlies are going to shoot first, and it's going to be Reed Lepster, who's got 29 goals, including one last night, as he'll be skating from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. Lepster shoots first for Utah. He gets the puck. He'll veer off to his left. As Lepster dangling back and forth, he's now in the left circle. He fires a righty shot, and Appleby makes the save. So Grizzlies 0 for 1 in the shootout, as Appleby denies Reed Lepster. Who's the first shooter for Cincinnati? It's going to be Aaron Sherratt. Sherratt, a defenseman who has no goals in 21 games this season. But he might have something for the shootout as he takes the puck. He'll skate towards his right. Sherratt dangling back and forth. He'll fire a backhand shot. Saved by Kaiser. And he will make the stop, neither team, with a goal through one round of the shootout. The Magician, the first-year pro out of Penn State, Danny Genev. Does he have something for the shootout round? He's going to shoot second for Utah. Genev off the screen now. He's got 17 goals this season, and he's got 1 assist tonight, which came on the Riley Connors goal in the second period. Genev accelerates. He gets the puck. He veers off to his right. Now Genev skates in, and backhand, forehand, lefty shot, kick save off the right ankle of Appleby, and Genev is denied. So Utah's 0 for 2 in the shootout. The second shooter for Cincinnati. Boy, based on what you see statistically, a little bit surprised to see Sherratt out there. It's going to be Ryan Kerwin, 21 goals this season. The first-year pro out of Penn State and Arizona State. He takes the puck, skates towards his left. Now he's in the middle of the ice, accelerates, a fire lefty shot. Blocker saved by Kaiser. So both teams are 0 for 2 in the shootout. We head to round 3. Third shooter for the Grizzlies is going to be Luke Manning. Manning's got 6 goals this season. This is his 38th game of the year. He's got an A on his sweater. He's been a strong team leader for Utah this season. Manning takes the puck. He'll skate towards his left. Camera operator's doing a bad job. Manning lefty shot, kick saved by Appleby. And so the Grizzlies 0 for 3 in the shootout. Games on the line is Gunnar Wolf Fontaine. 17 goals this season. He's the third shooter for Cincinnati. Fontaine accelerates, gets to the puck. Slides slowly to his left. Fontaine now in the offensive zone, dangling back and forth. Now he accelerates. He fires lefty shot. Saved by Kaiser. And the game continues into the 4th round of the shootout. First shootout for either team this season. The captain, Tyler Gratton, will shoot next for Utah. He has 16 goals this season. Gratton takes the puck. Moves to his right. Camera operator, move to your left. For Pete's sake. Gratton skates in. Lefty shot. Saved by Appleby. And he holds on. So now we go to the bottom of the 4th of the shootout. And who's it going to be for the Cyclones? It's going to be Jackson Murray. Both goaltenders have put on a show here this afternoon. As Murray, he'll accelerate towards the puck. He takes it and skates towards his left. Game's on his stick. Murray skates in. Backhand to forehand. Shot. Kick save by Kaiser off his right pad. We head into the 5th round of the shootout. Who's going up next for Utah? As they spotlight Kaiser on the Flow Sports screen. Next shooter for Utah is going to be Aiden Hansen-Bukata. He's got 3 goals this season. AHB skates towards his left. Now back towards his right. Backhand towards his forehand. Shot saved by Appleby. We go to the bottom of the 5th round of this shootout. As Appleby gets the crowd fired up, Sam Stevens. He's got 11 goals this season. And he can win it for the Cyclones here. Stevens skates. Now he accepts the puck and moves to his left. Sam Stevens in the offensive zone. Skates in, lefty shot blocker saved by Kaiser. Boy, win or lose, Kyle Kaiser has really put on a show here on his 27th birthday. Evan Freese in the first-year pro. He led the Wenatchee Wild in goals last season. He is second on the club with 20 goals this year. 6th round of a shootout. Neither team has scored. Freeson takes a puck. He moves to his left. As Freeson now in the offensive zone. Now he's to the middle of the ice. Take a lefty shot. Blocker saved by Appleby. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And with each time Utah's denied, Cincinnati can win it. Gabriel Bernier, 1 goal in 6 games. As he'll skate in. Bernier takes the puck. He'll move to his left. And as Bernier dangling back and forth, he takes a righty shot. Blocker saved by Kaiser. 6 rounds of the shootouts, and goaltenders have stopped all 6. Kaiser and Appleby putting together a show. 7th round of the shootout, and it's going to be Maxim Barbashev, the brother of Ivan Barbashev. Maxim with 4 goals this season. He takes the puck, moves to his left. Barbashev spreads his legs, now gets the middle of the ice. Lefty shot, saved by Appleby. And now we go to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch, if you will. But for Cincinnati, it's going to be Elijah Villio. And with each time Utah's denied, Cincinnati can win it. As Villio, he takes the puck. Skates towards his left, accelerates. Now he stops in the left circle. Now he accelerates. Now skates in. He'll take a lefty shot, saved by Kaiser. So we're through 7 rounds of the shootout, and neither team has scored. Who's going 8th for Utah? It's going to be Riley Connors. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist this afternoon. Connors, 17 goals on the year. He takes a puck, moves to his right. Connors shuffles his feet. Now he gets to the middle of the ice. He'll take a left righty shot, and a glove saved by Appleby. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. First time the Grizzlies or the Cyclones have been in a shootout this year. Luke Granger scored a goal 2:10 into the first period. He shoots 8th for Cincinnati. He takes the puck, skates towards his right. Granger spreads his legs. Now he's in the slot. Skates in, backhand shot, saved by Kaiser. So we're through 8 rounds of the shootout, and nobody has scored. Kyle Kaiser, after each save, kind of does a few deep breaths. And now it's John Gillette, who's got 10 goals this season. Top of the 9th. As Gillette stares down Ken Appleby. As he skates in, Gillette takes the puck. He'll move to his right. John Gillette dangling back and forth. He's now in the right circle. Now he fires lefty shot. Saved by Appleby. And both teams are looking like they've not been in a shootout all year. Appleby stopped all 9 he has seen in the shootout. Now it's Marco Sikic, who has 8 goals this season. It's his 39th game. Sikic will take the puck. He can win it right here for the Cyclones down the middle. He'll take a righty shot. Blocker saved by Kaiser. Now we go to the 10th round of the shootout. We know the final score is going to be 3-2. Kaiser gets a swig of water. Can Colby Enns be the guy to do it for Utah? Enns has 4 goals in 47 games. Colby Enns skates in, takes the puck. He was a +3 last night. Enns now towards the right side. Dangling back and forth. Now he skates in slowly. Righty shot. And he scores! Colby Enns fired it stick side past Appleby. And now Kyle Kaiser just needs to make 1 save here on his birthday. Sean Kennedy, the former Grizzly. Can he get revenge against his old team? Kennedy, 1 goal this season. He is Cincinnati's last hope. Kennedy takes the puck. He skates towards his right. Kennedy dangling back and forth. He'll take a lefty shot, and he scores. He ricocheted off Kaiser's blocker. Kaiser can't believe it, and we play on. Boy, Kennedy, not much of a move there. Just went to the blocker, and a ricocheted off Kaiser and into the back of the net. So both teams score in the 10th round of the shootout. Now it's Yaroslav Yevdokimov. Neither team scored in the first 9 rounds, and both scored in the 10th. Yevdokimov takes a puck here in the top of the 10th. Skates down the middle. He'll take a lefty shot. Now backhand shot. He scores! Beautiful move by Yevdokimov, and it's now 2-1 in the shootout. One more stop, and the Grizzlies can win it right here. Appleby can't believe it, but Yaroslav Yevdokimov put together a beautiful move. It's Jake Johnson. He's got 1 goal this season. Johnson, the former Fort Wayne Comet and Tahoe Night Monster. He takes the puck, skates down the middle. Johnson down the middle. He'll take a lefty shot, backhand shot, and he scores. Backhand shot, the ricochet off the shoulder of Kaiser. And just like that, after 9 straight rounds of nothing but goals, 2 goals for both Utah and Cincinnati. Kaiser can't believe it. Mikey Colella, he's got 1 goal this season. He's going to shoot in the 12th round. Colella thinking about what move he's going to put on Appleby. Now he accelerates towards the puck. He takes it, skates down the middle. Now he moves to his left. Colella now in the left circle, patiently skates towards the slot. Colella loses control of the puck and can't get a shot off. So that will do it for the Grizzlies' 12th round of the shootouts. And Kaiser needs to make a stop here as Liam Kidney is going to shoot for the win here for Cincinnati. Kidney in his 3rd game as a pro. He was a good scorer at the college level. Liam Kidney takes the puck. He can win it right here. Skates towards his lefty, fires lefty shot. Saved by Kaiser. Kidney tried to go low, and Kaiser closed up the 5-hole. So we go to round 13 of a shootout. So, the Grizzlies are down to 5 shooters. Luke Salem scored the tying goal. He's the reason why we're in the shootout, and he's going to take it for Utah. Luke Salem sporting a mustache, takes the puck. He'll move to his right. Now Salem down the middle of the ice, stick a lefty shot. Saved by Appleby. Salem trying to go glove side and just ricocheted off of Appleby's glove. So bottom of the 13th of the shootout. And the Grizzlies and Cyclones are getting a season's worth of shootout reps here so far this afternoon. Justin Vive will shoot 13th for Cincinnati. All-time leading scorer in team history. Son of Rick takes the puck. Skates down the middle of the ice. Backhand to forehand. Lefty shot. Kick save by Kaiser. Kaiser denied Vive with the right ankle save. So we go to the top of the 14th round of this shootout. What a crazy affair this has turned out to be. Who's going to shoot for Utah? It's going to be Dylan Gratton. Gratton takes the puck. As he'll skate towards his left. He scored his first pro goal this past Friday. Dangling back and forth. Now backhand shot. And it goes wide as he might have ricocheted off of Appleby's left shoulder. So bottom of the 14th round of this shootout. And Aaron Bollinger has a chance to win it for Cincinnati. He's got 2 goals, and this is 53rd game of the season. Bottom of the 14th. Both teams have 2 goals in the shootout. Bollinger takes the puck, skates down the middle. And so he dangles back and forth, backhand shot, and misses the net. We go to the 15th round of a shootout. We know the final score is going to be 3-2. Both teams are running out of skaters. And it's going to be Mike Gillette. He's the next shooter for Utah. How about this? We got to go back to Grizzlies history to figure out just how many. And now we stop play because part of the stanchion, there's a stanchion holding up the glass that fell down. So they're just going to get the stanchion out of play, as obviously don't really need it right now. So that stops and delays things for just a little bit. Both goaltenders are probably okay with that because they can get a little bit of a breather. So we're in the top of the 15th round of the shootout. Both teams have 2 goals in the shootout. And Mike Gillette, the older brother of John Gillette, he's got 1 goal in 16 games this year. Mike Gillette takes the puck. He'll move to his left. As Gillette dangling back and forth east to the middle of the ice, will take a righty shot. Saved by Appleby. So who's going to shoot 15th for Cincinnati? It's going to be Rhett Parsons, who's got 1 goal this year. little bit surprised that it took till the 14th round to see Justin Vive shoot for Cincinnati. Parsons takes the puck, skates down the middle. Now Parsons fires a slap shot and a save by Kaiser. So we go to the 16th round of the shootout. There's only 2 to pick from. Who hasn't gone for Utah? Next shooter for the Grizzlies is going to be Andrew Noel. Boiler's the only guy that hasn't shot. The other guy that hasn't shot. Noel takes the puck, the former Cyclone. Skates towards the middle of the ice, backhand shot, and he's denied by Appleby. Boy, Noel looking for some revenge against his former team. And it's going to be Nick Réaume. 13 goals this season. However, it's the 16th round of a shootout, and they finally get to Réaume, who's on Cincinnati's top forward line. He takes the puck. He can win it right here. Skates towards his right. Réaume, he'll skate in, backhand to forehand. He's denied by Kaiser. One too many moves for Nick Réaume. There's only one shooter left for Utah, and that's Boiler. Mathieu Boiler at the top of the 17th. That's right. We've got 17 rounds of a shootout here at Heritage Bank Center. As we're hanging out at Maverick Center, we're amazed by this thing. First shootout for either team this season. Boiler takes the puck. He'll skate down the middle. As Boiler will take a lefty shot and a blocker save by Appleby. There's only one shooter left. Well, I think Cincinnati had 18 skaters. Who's going to be the 17th shooter for the Cyclones? Win or lose, both Appleby and Kaiser, boy, they got to be impressed with their efforts. Curtis Henry, no goals in 31 games. He is shooting 17th for Cincinnati. He'll take the puck. And now he moves to his right. Henry now accelerates. Backhand to forehand. His shot. And it hits the outside of the cage and misconnects. So we go to the 18th round of a shootout, and we go back to the top of the order. This is the second time Reed Lebster Lebster was the first shooter in this thing. So we go back to the top of the order. The Grizzlies have batted around, if you will, and now Lebster gets a second chance in a shootout. He takes the puck. Top of the 18th in the shootout, tied at 2. Lebster skates towards the middle of the ice, take a righty shot, and a glove save by Appleby. Bottom of the 18th round of the shootout. Appleby has stopped 16 of 18. Kaiser, 15 of 17. 18th shooter for Cincinnati. How long can this thing go? This is crazy. So the 18th shooter for Cincinnati is number 62, Justin Portillo. Portillo has 1 goal this season. Skates towards his right. Portillo accelerates. Nice skates in, righty shot. Saved by Kaiser. So we go to round 19. This is absolutely insane. 19 rounds of the shootout. Kaiser just waving to the crowd. He looks like he's tired, but he's having a great time. Kaiser's laughing. Shooting for the second time in this shootout is the Grizzlies. Skating in and a shot. That's saved by Appleby. Couldn't tell who the shooter was. I think that was Colby Enns. And Enns took the shot. He was denied by Appleby. Now it's Sean Kennedy, who got one of the Cincinnati shootout goals. He's going to shoot for Cincinnati as Kennedy takes the puck. Can he get a second goal of the shootout? It would win it. Kennedy down the middle of the ice to take a lefty shot. Saved by Kaiser. Now we go to round 20. It was Colby Enns who was the last shooter for Utah. Didn't get a good view as to who it was. Now it's Yaroslav Yevdokimov. Yevdokimov with 1 goal in the shootout. Top of the 20th round. Yevdokimov stares down Ken Appleby. Yaroslav Yevdokimov, he takes the puck. Moves towards the left circle. Now Yevdokimov down the middle, and he looks to go to his backhand and misconnected and didn't get a shot off. Tried to go to the same move, and Appleby anticipated it, and Yevdokimov didn't get a shot off, and so we go to the bottom of the 20th. Now Cincinnati takes the puck. They skate towards their right. Cyclones down the middle. Kerwin will take a lefty shot, and he scores. Ryan Kerwin wins it for Cincinnati. Put together a solid move on Kaiser. And in the bottom of the 20th round of the shootout, the Cyclones get the extra standing point. As Cyclones get a 3-2 victory. And they won the shootout by that same 3-2 margin. As everybody goes to congratulate Ken Appleby and Kyle Kaiser on his 27th birthday. He's got nothing to be ashamed of as he stopped 17 of 20 in the shootout. He stopped each of the first 9 shots in the shootout. But it's Cincinnati's Ryan Kerwin, who's been one of the best rookies of the year, and he put together a good move and fired it past Kyle Kaiser. So a game, no doubt, the fans of over 3,500 who are hanging out at Heritage Bank Center, that's one they'll never forget. Neither team was in a shootout all year, and they put together a year's worth of attempts in one game. 20 rounds of a shootout, and it's Cincinnati coming away with a 3-2 victory. So Grizzlies get 3 out of 6 standings points for this road trip, and Utah will be home against Tulsa for a 3-game set on March 12th, 14th, and 15th. Post-game show starts in 30 seconds. Once again, the final score in 20 rounds of a shootout. It's Cincinnati 3, Utah 2. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Well, that's the first 20-round shootout I've ever described. I think the most I'd ever described was a 7-round shootout against Rapid City in the 2021-22 season, and that was where Charles-Edouard Dastu scored the game winner, and Peyton Jones was outstanding. It was a great goaltending duel between Peyton Jones and Lucas Parikh that night, and then the next game, the Grizzlies gave up 10 goals. But the big question going into that 7th round of a shootout is, why did it take seven rounds of the shootout to get to Dastu, who obviously is currently in the NHL with the Tampa Bay Lightning? Well, the time of game was about 3 hours because we had 20 rounds of a shootout. The official time of game was 2 hours and 56 minutes. Up until we got to the shootout, it was a pretty routine 2-2 game with both goaltenders standing on their head. Cyclones scored first, 2:10 in, as Luke Granger got his 13th of the year. Sean Kennedy and Gabriel Bernier with the assists. Cyclones led 1-0 after one period as they outshot Utah 12-6. Halfway through the second period, Danny Genev was in the right circle, fed one across to Riley Connors, and Connors snapped a one-timer past Appleby as he picked up his 17th of the year, and that was 10:27 into the second. That's the 4th primary assist for Danny Genev in the last 2 games. Late in the second period, Justin Vive scored 19-17 in. Sikic and Johnson with the assists. Cyclones led 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Cyclones outshot Utah 15-7. Luke Salem tied it up 11-12 into the third period. It was his second goal of the year as he fired away from the left point. Dylan Gratton and Riley Connors picked up the assists, and Connors ended the night with 1 goal and 1 assist as he was outstanding for Utah. Neither team scored the rest of regulation. Both teams had some good looks in overtime, but neither team found the back of the net as Utah had 5 shots, no T, and Cincinnati had 3. And then we went to a shootout. It's the 14th time Cincinnati had played past regulation and the 10th time the Grizzlies had gone past regulation this year, but neither team had participated in a shootout. And, well, you're talking about a crazy occasion there where each of the first 9 shooters on each team were denied. And then in the top of the 10th round of the shootout, Colby Enns found the back of the net. But in the bottom of the 10th with the game on the line, former Grizzly Sean Kennedy, you talk about revenge, he scored. And that was one that just ricocheted off of the blocker of Kyle Kaiser. If you're watching on Flow Sports, there's a game winner by Kerwin. Top of the 11th round, Yevdokimov scored. And Jake Johnson, kind of another one that ricocheted off of Kaiser and into the back of the net. And then from rounds 12 through 19, neither team found the back of the net. We hit to the top of the 20th round. Yevdokimov failed to get a shot off, and then Ryan Kerwin fired one past Kyle Kaiser on a pretty good move. Looked like some of the shooters were trying to do too much, but Kerwin, who's an outstanding puck handler, he put together a good move to get Kaiser off his balance, and he didn't miss the net. So 20 rounds of a shootout. As far as I know, we'll have to go back to the archives to see if the Grizzlies had a game that went that long into a shootout. But it's just one of those that, both Kyle Kaiser and Ken Appleby, not a whole lot they could do. They pretty much did what they needed to do. I mean, they stopped each of the first 9 shots in the shootout and then had a little bit of a barrage there in the 10th and 11th round where both teams were able to score goals. But I think both Kaiser and Appleby have to, be pretty happy with their effort. Obviously, Appleby a little bit more since he came out on top, but Kyle Kaiser definitely held strong for the Grizzlies in the shootout, as obviously the Grizzlies had plenty of opportunities. They're past overtime to come away with the extra standing point, but Cincinnati was able to get it 3-2. So first shootout in a while, and it certainly was a memorable one. I bet everybody in attendance not only got their money's worth, but that's one they'll never forget. You do forget about the 4-round shootouts, 5-round shootouts, even the one in 2022 the Grizzlies were in that went 7 rounds. You never forget a 20-round shootout. So this is the Grizzlies' final hunt. If you're talking about one of the things I'll probably remember 20 years from now, assuming I'm still alive, would be this game here in Cincinnati. Watching on a laptop as we went through the entire roster, just looking to find a way to win it in a shootout. And you've gone pretty far into a shootout when both teams have to go through skaters a second time through. So just one of those games, it's tough for either team to lose. And unfortunately, from the Grizzlies' perspective, they're the ones that come away with just one standing point. 3 stars of the game. Riley Connors, who had 1 goal and 1 assist. He was a +2 and had 3 shots. He's the number 3 star. Justin Vive, who gave Cincinnati a 2-1 lead late in the second period. He's the second star, but really the top 2 stars should be both goaltenders. Ken Appleby with the victory. Actually, it looks like, according to the score bug, they've given Ryan Kerwin the number 1 star, even though it probably should be both goaltenders, Appleby and Kaiser. So just, that should really be the top 2 stars of the game because they really stole the show with their performance. We talked about whether special teams is going to play a factor tonight. Grizzlies went 0 for 1 on the power play. Cincinnati went 0 for 2. But remember, the Grizzlies got the tying goal just 5 seconds after after the Grizzlies' power play ended. So it was one of those where, Grizzlies, it was 5-on-5, but Luke Salem just kind of fired a prayer towards the net. And all the saves Appleby made, couldn't find a way to get in. Even though Luke Manning didn't get a point, him just kind of cutting in front of Appleby might have taken some of the vision away. And Salem was able to find the back of the net. But, just kind of a crazy game. I'm not sure we were expecting 20 rounds in this shootout. And based on how both teams have performed in overtime, not really sure we're even going to get to a shootout. But that's exactly what we had here tonight. A season high, 2 hours and 56 minutes was the time of game. And obviously a good 20 minutes of that was in the shootout session. Remember to join us as we've got 15 games left in the Utah Grizzlies final hunt. And 12 of those 15 are going to be at Maverick Center. Utah will have Tolson, a 3-game set at home on March 12th and 14th at 7 o'clock. And next Sunday, March 15th, will be at 3:10 with a post-game skate. Then the final road trip in team history will be a 3-game set in Indy at Fisher's Event Center on March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And the Grizzlies end the final hunt with 9 straight home games. The first of that 9 games is going to be on March 26th against the Allen Americans. Don't forget Star Wars Night's going to be on April 4th. That's a Saturday night. And the final Saturday home game is going to be Fan Appreciation Night on April 11th. And the final regular season game in team history will be against Rapid City on April 12th. That's a Sunday afternoon, and you're definitely going to want to make sure to get your tickets to get a final glimpse and to make some great memories with the last season of Utah Grizzlies hockey. Well, that'll just about wrap things up. Once again, in 2 hours and 56 minutes and in front of a crowd of 3,531 in 20 rounds of a shootout, Cincinnati defeats Utah 3-2. As not only that was the final score, but that was the tallies in the shootout. Cincinnati had 3 goals and the Grizzlies had 2. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to someday in the very near future get to the National Hockey League. We'll talk to you on Thursday night. That's the next broadcast of Grizzlies hockey, a rare Thursday home game, 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off, as the Grizzlies open up a 3-game series with the Tulsa Oilers. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.